We now return to the program. It's a Debtful Life.
2 auto loans, 6 credit cards. Sometimes I wish I'd never taken out all this debt.
Oh, you should never say that, especially since Alcoa 10 will pay you up to $500 for your debt.
Who are you? Are you an angel?
Close. I'm a loan officer at Alcoa 10.
Teacher said that whenever you hear cha-ching, someone refinance a loan at Alcoa 10.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong. Equal housing lender.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. Learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you. Log on to OFOKnox.com. That's OFOKnox.com.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain event.
It's my time.
With your host, Jason Swain. Real sports talk for the real sports fan. It's time for the Swain event. Fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 25 and a red flag. Yak, 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 yak.
865-200-5503 is our telephone number to the B-Drive Waterproofing Hotline. Swain event is fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Wednesday, best day of the week. And today, there's no doubt, it is the best day of the week. The John Ward tribute ceremony taking place today at Thompson Bowling Arena, 6 p.m. It will be streamed live. But, man, if you're here in Knoxville, if you are driving distance, what an opportunity to be around your Vol family. And there's going to be others outside the Vol family that truly want to pay their respects to a legend, the greatest, John Ward. So that's taking place today. That is why it's the best day of the week. Ben McKee, Charlie Burrs, Jason Swain here. Thank you for tuning in this morning. If you are listening on Rocky Top Sports, 850 AM, 100.9 FM, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you are listening on the free Swain Event app for Android, Apple devices, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you are watching Swain Event TV driven by Toyota Knoxville, thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, individuals, how y'all doing this morning?
Doing well. Is it a coincidence that since John Ward passed away, it's just basically been nothing but rain, man? It's killing me. But it feels fitting, I guess.
Oh yeah.
It's sad around these parts, and so it rains, but it won't stop. I'm not a big rain guy. I like to. I mean, personally, the way that I prefer to exercise is outside, and it's kind of ruining my good time.
I enjoy a good rain every now and then to where you can just lay in the house and be lazy all day, but 3 consecutive days, no bueno.
Enough is enough.
Hey, man.
Come on.
The grass needs it.
I don't have any grass, so I don't care about that.
The grass needs it now. The grass needs it.
It has rained so much. Actually, my wife grows tomatoes on our porch, and it's been killing our tomatoes. They're getting oversaturated with water. So if you
gotta move them.
Excuse me. Oh, we have. Don't worry. But
well, if you take them inside, the evil cat will get them. So
exactly. So I mean, it's been more of a pain than it's worth. But
I think you should just sit outside holding an umbrella over the tomatoes 24/7.
maybe that is, hey, I would get that outside time that I'm looking for.
You get a lot of brownie points with your wife.
Yeah.
I have a mental picture of your cat sitting on the couch, like a grown-up, like a human being, sitting there.
It does do that.
With a plate of sliced tomatoes, seasoned with salt and pepper, just eating them like your grandma and your granddaddy used to do back in the day. When you walk in, they look at you like, phew, I thought you were supposed to be here later. Why are you here so early? I just have a mental picture of your cat doing that. I don't know why.
Not necessarily inaccurate. At least if it had opposable thumbs, I think that is what it would do. So.
Charlie's cat is pure evil. One of his cats.
Yeah.
Towards
Got
everybody
a nice
but Charlie. Well, is the cat nice towards your wife?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
It's nice to us. It's when invaders like Ben come in that it is not so happy.
Your other cat is cool, though. Henry?
Yeah.
I see, the other cat is so evil, I don't even remember its name.
It is literally, and I was not involved in the naming of this cat. It's credit to my wife's creativity. She's an engineer. Kitty. That's the name of the cat.
You should name it Dr. Evil.
That's probably why it's so mean.
Dr. Evil.
It's just like, give me a new name.
I want an actual
Don't call
name.
me this.
So I'm looking on the weather app here on the iPhone. You guys were mentioning the raining today and all the rain in the last 3 days. So this morning, there's a 90% chance of thunderstorms, 8 o'clock, and then it tapers off, but it's still 40% or higher all the way up to noon, and then it gets 30, 40, 50, 40%, 30%, all the way to 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock, it just says cloudy.
All right, so I have the hour of 5 o'clock.
It's cloudy. And then 6 o'clock, the sun comes out.
Coincidence?
Of the clouds.
I think not.
See.
6 p.m.
See.
How about that?
John Ward is going to
It
spread
is John Ward.
his blue towel above Knoxville.
And then 7 p.m., it's back to cloudy.
Oh.
So 6 p.m., probably 6:06 is when the sun will come up over the clouds.
Makes a lot of sense. You'll have the sun shining across. You kind of in Thompson Bowling, you get the sun that shines through the doors for a short period of time. When it's going down at night, maybe it'll be shining through those doors down into the bowl there during that ceremony.
Yeah, it's gonna be
coincidence.
It's gonna be an emotional day, but a lot of celebration for the greatest John Ward. 865-255-03. They're in the B-Dry waterproofing hotline. BDry.com. Mentioning raining all week. If you have any crawl space issues there, your basement is experiencing leaks and it's very damp down there and moist, make sure you call B-Dry. You go to BDry.com. Do not ignore the issue. They will give you a free quote. They are the best in the business, so make sure you call B-Dry, BDry.com. 865-255-03. Our telephone number to the B-Dry waterproofing hotline. Let's bring in Mark this morning. Mark, good morning.
Bueno, good morning, my brother.
What's up, Mark? The Hour 1 B-Dry hotline champion this morning.
I am finally a champion again.
That's right, man. That's right.
It took 20 years, but I'm finally a champion again.
You are a champion. We have to order the rings, and we have to make your T-shirt. You are a champion, Mark.
I'll take the T-shirt in a medium, please.
Got it.
Hey, man, I just wanted to call and tell you I've been gone a lot on vacation, working a lot, and I've missed your live shows, but I've been catching you a lot on podcasts. And, man, y'all have done a phenomenal job with John Ward's passing. I listened to all of that stuff on the way back from Florida, and, 6 hours of the Swain event was a good day for me,
Thank you.
And y'all, you really did a wonderful job. But I got to tell you one little story. That I was 10 years old before I knew that they had announcers for the Tennessee game on the television. My father would tell us, and we would always ask him, like, Dad, why do we have to listen to radio? Can't we listen to Tennessee? And he'd say, Tennessee doesn't have announcers, son. We got to listen to John Ward. So that is the way I grew up, with John Ward on the radio and the television. And I went to a friend's house one time, and Tennessee was playing Georgia, and I heard the announcers on the TV calling the game for the very first time. And it blew me away. I come home, and Dad just got the biggest kick out of it, right? So I never listened to another broadcast on television. It was always John Ward until 1999. And then I gave TV a whole year before I switched over to Kessling. And Kessling does a fantastic job. He's really – and now my children are the same way, dude. They do not know that TV has announcers for the Tennessee game because we're listening to Kessling, got the volume off. And my 9-year-old still does not know that Tennessee has announcers on the television.
You know what's I was thinking about this the other day, is that Kessling and Holly Warlick, I mean, they've had to replace and come after legends, not just really good at their job where they were, but legends. Over the entire, Pat Summitt basketball, John Ward announcing period. I mean, just over the entire, I guess what they specialize in. I mean, that's really tough to do. That's what a really tough responsibility for Bob Kessling, and I think he does a really good job. And
he does.
Yeah.
He does a really good job. And that's why I turned it off for a year, because he wouldn't have been John Ward, and I would have not liked him and not liked him and not liked him. So I turned it off, gave a whole year, and then as soon as I turned it on, he was like, hey, this guy feels like home.
Yeah.
So, and he's done a fantastic job since then, and I really appreciate it. But anyway, you boys do a good job. First time I've heard Rocky Top in a while. I'm fired up on a Wednesday, baby. Best day of the week.
All right, Mark. We have to schedule your parade.
It's a great opening call there. That I love that. That's parenting done right.
That's
Put
right.
it that way, that your kids don't know that they're television announcers for Tennessee football games.
That's right, man. Schedule the parade there, Mark. Let's continue on the B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline, and let's bring in Andy. Andy, good morning.
Hey, what's going on?
Everything. Andy, good morning.
So I heard we got 2 new doctors that Pruitt hired. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm gonna get into that to start the show, and I need a little bit longer than about 30 seconds because that's as much as we have, much time we have left in the first break. But yes, I was absolutely going to get to that first in the show. Pruitt has made some big changes in that area, and it for the most part, people are understanding and they are saying, hey, Tennessee has had all these injuries over the last couple of years. It's time to, I guess, quote unquote, drain the swamp and get new people in here. And you have others that they are resistant to change because it's the way it's always been, and why change it? And so, we were going to discuss it. I have some personal experiences with the doctors who were let go, and also the doctor who, one of the doctors that will be in a new role for Pruitt. So, Andy, I was going to get to it after the first break.
All right, brother. Well, that's pretty much all I got today, and y'all have a good day.
All right, brother. I'll see you, man. Thank you, Andy. Yeah, this is big news for Tennessee football fans. It may not feel like it because it's not a commitment, which Tennessee may get one later on today. I'm not really sure. I know that Tennessee has shown a lot of interest in a particular quarterback who decided that he wants to make his announcement today. He's doing that at 11 a.m. Brian Mora, or Mora.
How do you spell it?
6'2.5", 180. He's going to make his announcement today at 11, so we'll see what happens. Ohio State, West Virginia showing interest in him. And is Tennessee going to take 2 quarterbacks this year? Is Tennessee going to take 1 quarterback this year? I think we'll see kind of what happens at 11 a.m. when this Elite 11 quarterback who's been kind of setting the world on fire in camps make his announcement at 11 o'clock. So we will have to talk about that tomorrow because we'll be off the air once he makes his announcement if he chooses Tennessee. 865-250-503, Beat Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Be right back.
Hour 1 of the Swain event is driven by Toyota Knoxville. Stop by Toyota Knoxville to see their great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. They are conveniently located off the Lovell Road exit at 10415 Parkside Drive, right here in Knoxville.
Having a place to call home means a lot. A place that feels comfortable where you can be yourself. Better Mattress has called East Tennessee home for the past 27 years. You can tell when you walk in, they care. They have that Tennessee spirit that feels like home. You can trust them. Better Mattress has the history, the expertise to help you sleep better, and they have the top brands. From Tempur-Pedic to Stearns & Foster, Better Mattress has the brands you know, plus they carry their own line handcrafted in East Tennessee. The owners of Better Mattress know the person who made your Better Mattress. They visit their manufacturers to perfect every single detail before carrying them in their stores. To celebrate 27 years, you can get an adjustable base for $27 on select purchases. That's a $1,299 value. With a 100-night guarantee, you can shop worry-free at Better Mattress. You are missing out if you don't shop Better Mattress. It feels like home, and this month only get an adjustable base for $27 to celebrate 27 years in business. Good night, just got better. BEDRmattress.com.
At some point in your life, you're going to need an attorney. You need a guy like Jared Castile with the law firm of Butler, Vines, and Babb. Jared Castile is East Tennessee born, and he understands what giving his all truly means. To Jared, every case is big and every client is important. He will aggressively push your case to make sure you are quickly paid every dollar that you deserve. Give Jared Castile a call, 865-244-3933, and talk with him directly. His office is located at 2701 Kingston Pike. So if you've been injured in a car wreck, let Jared Castile and Butler, Vines, and Babb fight for you.
Spring is here and it's time to party. Who wants to spend hours upon hours on the smoker while everyone else is having a good time? Nobody. That's who. Call Dead End Barbecue at 865-414-9417 and let a top 100 barbecue restaurant handle the food so you can enjoy your party. The school year is getting close to ending, which means graduation parties and end-of-the-year celebrations. Don't be stuck on the grill. Pick up the phone and call 865-414-9417 and ask for Leah. Dead End Barbecue. Your catering search is over.
Flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. You pull over, step out of your car, and the next thing you know, you're being arrested for driving under the influence. Now what do? We all should be responsible. But remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza at 865-540-8300. The investigative teams at the Garza Law Firm know the justice system inside and out. They utilize cutting-edge technologies and investigative methods to prepare your specific case. Before you plead guilty to any criminal charges, call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza. Put his number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty, say Garza. 865-540-8300, 865-540-8300, and GarzaLaw.com.
You're listening to the Swain event.
And you know this, man.
Swain event fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. 865-250-503, Beat Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Charlie Burris, Ben McKee here on a Wednesday. It is raining. It will be raining today. Thunderstorms yesterday. but the sun is supposed to come out around 6:06, according to your app on your iPhone. That's what it said. 6:06. Sun should be out. We'll see. 865-200-5503. Again, B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Biggest news on the Hill, other than the tribute for John Ward, is Jeremy Pruitt making major changes to the medical staff at the University of Tennessee. This is not just an easy fix, easy conversation. There's many levels to this. There's many angles to look at this, many different ways. And we hope it pays off. There's reasons why I understand Jeremy Pruitt felt like this needed to be done. There are also reasons that I also understand why you would be somewhat worried. According to John Bryce, Gridiron Now, he puts out that according to sources with intimate knowledge of the situation, first-year head coach Jeremy Pruitt has relieved multiple doctors of their duties within the University of Tennessee football program. Doctors Greg Mathian, Russell Betra were informed late last week that they no longer would serve as team doctors for the Volunteers football program. Both doctors have provided care for the team dating back to Coach Fulmer's time, with Mathian arriving 2 years prior to Fulmer's full-time role there as head coach. One source in the Knoxville medical community says it's a travesty. Another source says the situation is messed up. Pruitt also let go of John Burnside, one of the lead trainers for the football program, earlier this spring after he was just with the program 1 year. The duo of Mathian and Betra had nearly 50 years of combined service for UT athletics, especially football. And Mathian began working at UT, arriving in Knoxville in 1991, and working right next to Dr. Yeomans there at KOC, Knoxville Orthopedic Clinic. And Betra arrived in 1998, and the duo worked together concurrently since 1990.
I can say at the end of this, Bryce says that UT is expected to utilize the services of Dr. Matthew Rapp, a surgeon, and Dr. Robert E. Ivy, another surgeon, both from KOC, the same place where the last two doctors came from. I will say I have been operated on by Robert Ivy in my life. He's an excellent, excellent doctor.
Well, clearly not, because you're still all messed up.
Yeah. I'm pretty screwed up, but he thankfully my wrist is not, thanks to Dr. Ivy. But
is this the broken wrist that still affects your golf game?
It is, in fact. Yeah, he couldn't fix that. He couldn't fix my golf swing, unfortunately. But yeah, put a rod in there a few years back, and so he is good. I do not know Dr. Rapp, but it's an interesting move. Basically, going from a couple of guys who've just been around for, obviously decades, to guys that work with those guys in the same facility, but who are just a different couple of individuals. So, what is your take on this move?
Whenever you have all this turnover, I mean, we've had 4 or 5 different coaches in the last decade. Coach Fulmer, Kiffin, Dooley.
This being the 5th, I guess.
Yeah, so 5 coaches in the last decade. And what you expect is when you have these different head coaches, you expect change within the program at different levels. The one constant, it seems like to be, has been Condris Holloway. Don't mess with Condris now. You leave Condris alone. But he's been the one constant so far. Jason McVay is in there is in the same role for the most part. I think he used to be the head trainer after Keith Clemens stepped down there in 2005, 6 years, and McVay took kind of a backseat role to the gentleman John Burnside, who was fired during the spring. But Jason McVay is still running things there in the training room. So I've been operated on twice by Dr. Mathian. Okay, I've had a knee scope by Dr. Mathian. I don't think he did a bad job. I thought he did a pretty good job, to be honest. I don't have any complaints about the surgery that I received from KOC. Did I go outside Tennessee for a second opinion? Absolutely. Absolutely, I did that. I went down to Dr. James Andrews' office, and I got a chance to see a gentleman by the name of Dr. Lee Mack. And they worked in the same practice together, and I got a second opinion for my second scope because that included the stretch fracture in my kneecap. And there has been changes at the University of Tennessee, and particularly Dr. Valjean Ivan was abruptly let go there in the mid-2000s. People believe that he was let go because of how he could be honest, very honest with some of the players. And that necessarily didn't sit well. I'm a huge Dr. Valjean Alvin fan, and he has served as the team physician at Oklahoma State ever since he left. So that's where he is right now. In the locker room, there has been a feeling of, I won't say 100% of a feeling of okay, whatever the doctors say, let's just do it. There's always been, okay, man, let me see if I can get some outside help, or let me get some outside counsel. Is that good or bad? I don't necessarily think it's the best. But you always want to get a second opinion when you are using your body to pay for your school, or you're using your body to eventually try to go to the NFL. You always want to get a second opinion because you just never know when someone may make a mistake. Tennessee has done Mathian and these guys have done a really good job for a very, very long time. But here's the facts. These are just facts. You look over the last 2 or 3 years, there's been a problem. And I've been kind of hinting towards this for a while. It's hard to point the finger at just strength coach or just coaching staff or just medical team. It's a combination of all of why we've had these head-scratching injuries that kept guys off the field for so long. It's a combination. And so 2 out of the 3 have been replaced. You have a new coaching staff. You have a new strength coach that you paid $600,000 for in his first year. That's what he's going to make every single year. And you invested $600,000 in the new strength and conditioning equipment for a total of a $1.2 million investment in year 1. So, okay, might have eliminated 2 there. Well, what's the third leg? Well, the third leg is the medical team. And if you are Pruitt, you've come from a place where guys are getting back on the football field. You don't have 10, 15, 20 guys out because of injury. Now, Alabama did have some injuries last year, but they sure play when the time mattered in a championship game. But Pruitt's come from a place where, think about this. Dr. James Andrews was a very important piece to Alabama football. Right there in Birmingham, on the UAB campus. I mean, he was tied right in with Alabama football.
Alabama and Auburn.
Dr. James Andrews is the best.
Yes.
He is the best. When anybody at any level in sports gets hurt seriously, they call Dr. James Andrews, and they travel down to Florida to get operated on. Todd Caley Jr. got his knee fixed by Dr. James Andrews down there in Florida.
Smart decision.
And so he's the best, hands down, no question. So you can only imagine the type of information that Pruitt and company gathered from his time down in Alabama. Now, with all the injuries, I mean, this is not good. The injuries that we've had, the number of injuries. We're talking about leading the country, according to Phil Steele, leading the country, the entire country, in missed starts in the last 2 seasons. You can't make the club in the tub, and you can't compete when you banged up. You can't do it. I couldn't find anything wrong with compete. That's probably why I'm not a rapper. But these rappers these days, you don't really need to be good at rhyming to drop a track. So all you got to do is just mumble a little bit and yell.
If you're in the tub, that means you're not competing, which means you'll be deleting.
Yeah, well, you can't make the club in the tub. That flows. But you can't compete with bad feet. There you go. Hey! BT, holla at me. Give me my award. I will accept my award right here in the studio. First of all, I want to thank my Savior, Lord Jesus Christ. I want to thank him first. I want to thank my mama and my daddy. I want to thank my cat. My cat's name is Kitty. I want to thank all my friends for spending time in the studio with me. I want to thank all my interns for going and getting me Cambodian breast milk when I was thirsty, because I had to shut down the studio a couple times, but I had to open it back up and drop these fire tracks. I want to thank all the girls in 4th grade who thought I was ugly and motivated me to be the rapping superstar that I am today. Thank you. Thank you for the award. Can't make the club in the tub. You can't compete with bad feet. Put that up there with Tupac and Biggie's, some of their best lyrics of all time.
Best football-related rap of all
Swiper
time.
Boy, you want to battle this, son? Huh, Swiper Boy? You want some of this? You want an 8-mile battle? Swiper Boy? I'm the real UT athlete rapper around here. You too, Arian. You want some of this too?
Yeah, you don't want none of Arian.
Arian, you want some of this?
You don't want none of Arian.
I got you, Arian. I'll dish you. I'm talking about tacos. Can't compete with bad feet. Can't make the club in the tub. Swain event. Be right back.
Hour 1 of the Swain event is driven by Toyota Knoxville. Stop by Toyota Knoxville to see their great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. They are conveniently located off the Lovell Road exit at 10415 Parkside Drive, right here in Knoxville.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can. Because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1-year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries. You break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Reciproco, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike, between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technician to see how we can get your phone working today. Hey gentlemen, June is Men's Health Month, but do you know your numbers? You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone and prostate numbers? I know mine. I went to the Low T Center. They made it quick and easy, and you'll know your results in about 20 minutes. At the Low T Center, most health insurance is accepted. They will even verify your insurance for you. Low T Center's physicians have been exclusively diagnosing and treating men for low testosterone for years. And in honor of Men's Health Month, Low T Center is offering a special $50 testosterone and prostate level test. Take advantage of this offer, especially if you haven't met your deductible yet, have a high copay, or don't have insurance. So if you've noticed a decline in energy or motivation, you may have low testosterone. Low testosterone makes you feel tired and grumpy. It can raise your cholesterol and cause weight gain. Low T Center's experienced medical staff will educate you on the benefits and risk of testosterone replacement. Make your health a priority today and call 865-392-1388 or go to lowtcenter.com.
Up goes your car insurance. Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage. It's not available in all states.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
By now, you know that Mooyah has the best burgers in Knoxville. Their beef is never frozen, they have all-natural turkey burgers and black bean veggie burgers, not to mention they make their buns in-house every day. But now, you can also get 100% all-beef hot dogs or, wait for it, all-natural chicken sandwiches. Trust me, these chicken sandwiches put chicken restaurants to shame. So stop into Mooyah and taste the difference. Located at 7301 Kingston Pike, right by Better Mattress.
Craving homemade flavors that don't take hours in the kitchen? Mrs. Grissom's cheese spreads and chicken salads are the perfect go-to. Ready-to-eat meals and snacks found in the meat or dairy section at the grocery store with flavors of home in every bite. Whether you crave the classic Mrs. Grissom's pimento cheese or the gold gluten-free select cranberry pecan chicken salad, enjoy the sweet taste of a home-cooked meal in every container. Select the best. Select Mrs. Grissom.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain event.
Hour one here continues on the Swain event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant, driven by Toyota Knoxville and ToyotaKnoxville.com. Huge news out of Knoxville that Jeremy Pruitt is
basically going wholesale on the medical staff.
Blazing the trail.
Just switching everybody out.
I
blazing the trail.
I don't mind it. I obviously we've discussed this can be a good and a bad thing depending on who you hire. Because I mean this is such an important aspect of running a football team is your medical staff and the decisions that they make.
It can be a good thing or a bad thing depending on who you hire, but also how you conduct yourself and what type of system you have in place to make sure that when guys are hurt, it's one thing to try to get guys back as fast as possible, as long as it does not affect them long term. Here is always the double-edged sword. This is always the thin line. This is always where you're trying to balance, because you want to know why a player, after they finish their college career somewhere, the two reasons why they may be bitter. The first reason would be because coaches bash this player to NFL scouts. That's the first reason. The second reason is your health was not handled the right way. Your injuries were not handled the right way. Instead of doing what's best for you long term, because these same coaches sat in your living room and talked about you living your dreams, playing at the next level, they did not make decisions to help you get to your dreams. They only thought about themselves and getting you back for their short-term success, but not your long-term success. That will make a player bitter as all get out. Those two reasons right there, okay? There's some other reasons too. I mean, how the fans treat you, but that's just soft if you ask me. Don't play with effort, play hard, be unselfish, and you shouldn't really get any criticism from fans. If you get any criticism, it ain't that serious. It's big-time football. You'll be okay. How Tennessee handles injuries is going to be something to pay very close attention to. What we hope, and this is the reason for the moves, what you hope is that Tennessee will not be, according to Phil Steele's calculation, our starters missed a combined 58 games in 2017.
Just in 2017.
Yes.
And because of that, I don't think it's a bad decision to overhaul the medical staff. And now I don't think the bad luck is necessarily just the medical staff. That's a lot to do with the strength and conditioning program as well, because clearly that strength and conditioning program was not getting the job done in terms of strengthening muscles and the core and all those sorts of things. So it's not I don't view it as a bad decision to maybe overhaul the staff. I think this can be – it can't get any worse in my opinion. I'm sure it can get worse technically, but it would be hard-pressed to get worse than what it was.
But that's what I was going to say originally when I brought up that it could be a good and a bad thing, and I mean, Swain, you pretty much nailed it there. But it's that, honestly, at this point, I don't mind getting sort of that bad juju out of the building, where just the injuries were such a giant problem over the last 2 years. Like, just let's move on, get some new blood in here, and see how they can do.
I mean, you have a car that you've had for 15 years, and it's not working right. So maybe it's the transmission, maybe it's the engine. Maybe you get new brakes. Maybe we get new tires. Maybe we change the oil. Maybe we get a new oil pump. Maybe we need to get a new steering wheel. At some point, you're like, you know what, man? Forget this. Let's get a brand new car.
Yeah, you basically built a new car.
Let's get a brand new car and just eliminate this issue. Well, that's how I look at our injury problem. It's like, okay, you got rid of Dave Lawson. Well, we know that wasn't the problem because he was hurt the next year too, and you're weaker. With the interim strength and conditioning coach who learned everything that he knew from the guy you fired. Oh my gosh, wow! I would never understand that. So
that might be the dumbest decision he made during his time at Tennessee.
That was
an underrated dumb decision.
That was what sealed his fate right there. That decision.
That deserves to be
underratedly dumb.
So that happened. And then you made some changes a little bit with the head trainer, with people working inside the training room. You lost some, you gained some, and nothing helped there. And so Pruitt's coming in because I'm telling you right now, there's been issue before Pruitt. There's been issue before Butch Jones when it comes to this. And I'm really not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but I got to keep it real here. This is my job. Remember 2 years ago we had Matt Moscone on? Actually, it was like a year ago we had Matt Moscone on. And we were talking about Leonard Fournette and how Leonard Fournette played his last season. Remember, he got hurt in fall camp because Les Miles thought it was a brilliant idea to allow your franchise running back to go through fall camp without being protected. And they were hitting and tackling to the ground.
Yeah, I remember this.
There's no reason why Leonard Fournette should have been
put in that situation,
engaged in any type of a full contact with 2 weeks left of fall camp when, game week is around the corner. Well, Leonard Fournette experienced a high ankle sprain to start the season, and he was never the same as last season. Remember, he set out his bowl game because of that nagging ankle injury. When they played Auburn, remember he wasn't going to play, and then he gets into it with some of the players, and then he plays.
Or was that Florida?
It was Alabama. Oh, it was Florida. That was a Florida game where all Tennessee fans were watching, because if Florida would have won, Tennessee would have went to the
vice versa
SEC championship game.
No, we needed LSU to win because Florida won that game.
Did they? Okay, vice versa.
And Darius Geis got stopped on the 1-inch line.
Correct. Yeah, Florida. We needed Florida to lose that game, and they won that game. Leonard Fournette was going to play in that game. He wasn't going to play, but then he got into it there at pregame warm-ups, and then he played. But my point is, they used a technique there at LSU. The same technique that Kobe Bryant, the Tiger Woods, and the Steph Currys, and all these pro athletes were using, called prolotherapy. PRP is when you take the platelets off the blood that you take away from the body. You spin it down, you take the platelets off, and you re-inject it back into the injured area, and it helps speed up the healing process. It's done here in Knoxville privately, but it was not adopted by University of Tennessee. And I remember Matt Moscona telling me that Leonard Fournette was going through this his last year. I'm like, guys, why are we not doing that?
And he laughed us off.
Oh, what? We're not doing prolotherapy? We're not doing PRP? LSU is doing it? We're not doing it? What? Remember 2 years ago, I think, when Steph Curry was kind of hurt there with an ankle in the playoffs earlier, and then he comes back? He came back because he was doing PRP. I'm like, why are we not doing this? Huh? We got this nice stadium. We got all this money, and we're not up on the latest and greatest in sports medicine? Kobe Bryant is doing it, but we're not doing it? Huh? That didn't make a lot of sense. I know for a fact it works because I've had it done on my ankle, and it works. There's no doubt about it. So I know there are folks who are upset because you have some change. I get that. And it's not to say they did a bad job. It's just time to eliminate all the possible reasons why we've having problems and start from a clean slate. I think that's fair. But it's also fair to say, okay, that does not necessarily mean that we're not going to have any issues. And what is a slippery slope is when you allow coaches to start overriding medical staff members and doctors. That's a slippery slope. You can get yourself in trouble when you're playing guys that shouldn't be playing. We're talking about lawsuits in the future, okay? So we got to be very, very careful because more and more schools across the country, they're giving power, all the power to their head coach. Everyone wants to be Nick Saban. Everyone wants the power in all departments. And so you just got to be careful with that. 865-255-03. Attaboy coming up next.
Hour 1 of the Swain event is driven by Toyota Knoxville. Stop by Toyota Knoxville to see their great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. They are conveniently located off the Lovell Road exit at 10415 Parkside Drive, right here in Knoxville.
Showers and thunderstorms are likely today, mainly after 2 p.m. Partly sunny with a high near 85 and a low around 70. There is a 40% chance of rain tomorrow, partly sunny and hot with a high near 90 and a low around 72. Friday looks to be more of the same with a high in the low 90s. Weather on the Swain event is brought to you by B-Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, B-Dry can help. BDry.com. Do you have cracks in your foundation? A wet basement or a nasty, leaky crawl space? Our listeners have heard about them on the Swain event for over a year, and now it's time to make the call. Give B-Dry Waterproofing and Foundation Repair the opportunity to fix your home's problem. Since 1958, that's right, nearly 60 years, B-Dry has been solving basement, crawl space, and foundation problems throughout the country. B-Dry only uses high-quality materials from reputable manufacturers. They back their installations with some of the best warranties in the industry to provide homeowners with added peace of mind. They are truly an A-plus company. Whenever you start experiencing a wet basement, leaky crawl space, or a cracked foundation, remember these 3 words: better call B-Dry. Reach out to B-Dry today at 865-662-5238 to schedule your free appointment. That's 865-662-5238. Remember, better call B-Dry.
With the hot weather and humidity comes mosquitoes and other pests. Let Southeast Termite and Pest Control take care of that problem for you. They offer one-time or package treatments that control biting adults as well as larvae. Southeast Termite and Pest Control has been in business since 1971 and is local and family-owned. They offer free estimates and quotes with no obligations. So don't get bit anymore. Go with the pest control company you can trust. Call Southeast Termite and Pest Control at 865-925-3700 or find them online at southeasttermite.com.
Hey Annie, you're the spokesperson for Toyota Knoxville, right?
That's right.
Where should I buy from Toyota Knoxville?
Are you looking for new or used vehicles?
Does it matter?
No, because Toyota Knoxville has over 390 new Toyotas on the ground and over 350 pre-owned vehicles available to choose from.
Okay, so big selection.
And a lifetime warranty at no charge on all new and select pre-owned vehicles.
A lifetime warranty.
A non-factory limited lifetime powertrain warranty with unlimited miles. Plus 30 years of experience in Knoxville, not just serving our customers, serving our community.
And the buying experience?
Hello, it's Toyota Knoxville. Read the reviews. Talk to anybody that's been there.
Okay. Where am I going?
Toyota Knoxville is at I-40 and the Lover Road exit. Go to Parkside Drive. You can't miss it.
Can I tell them Annie sent me?
I wish you would. If you're passionate about the car you drive, come meet the people that are passionate about the way they sell at Toyota Knoxville. ToyotaKnoxville.com. Warranty good at participating dealers.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
You're a hell of a guy, man.
Now that's how you're supposed to drive. From now on, that's how you drive.
This kid can draw circles.
Hold, remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Bam! Awesome. Phenomenal.
Attaboy.
Attaboys, where we highlight the positivity out in the good world. All kind of good things happening. We're going to make sure that you know about it here in the Swain event, here in hour 1. Charlie, what you got?
Got an attaboy for some friends of mine that run a charity here in Knoxville called Laundry Love Knoxville. They're doing awesome work. And I don't know, I haven't brought this up on the show before. That's an oversight on my part. But so essentially what they do is they go to a laundromat one night in each month, and they do laundry for families that are in need. They'll provide enough money for you to do 3 loads of laundry, plus, obviously enough money to dry your clothes also. And it's just a cool thing. They do activities for the kids, and they provide a little bit of food too. It's just an awesome thing, and just recently, I believe this month, they got a designation as a 501c3, so they are official. They're the real deal. They gotten featured on the news, and they've been all over the place. It's a really cool thing that's been growing really rapidly, and a lot of people are getting behind, and I just wanted to pump it out there. If you want to get involved, Laundry Love Knoxville, they have a page on Twitter, and they're always looking for volunteers to help out and always looking to expand, so Go there and get involved if you want to, because they're doing incredible work. I just want to give them a shout out.
This is a video, but I feel like I'm going to try to do my best to illustrate kind of what happened. It's really short. description of what happened. But officers buy lemonade from boy whose money was stolen. So it says when a 9-year-old called the cops after older kids made off with earnings from his lemonade stand, local authorities were happy to do what they could to help, including replacing the stolen money and supporting his small business. So really cool moment there, because technically you can be fined for selling lemonade without a permit. And you can have the police called on you for selling water on the side of the street, too, without having a permit.
Yeah, I saw
the latest snitching meme there on social media. So really good story here.
That's like a movie from the 90s. Like a kid literally out on his sidewalk in small-town America selling lemonade. And then older kids, like you could sort of see it in your head, just from watching movies. They like roll up and they in like a V shape on their bikes.
Yes.
They say, "Hey kid, we're gonna take your money," and then they run off with it. But that's awesome. Those cops, good for those dudes.
Yes. Good story there. Anything, Ben?
No, sir.
Oh, that means you're negative.
False. I have been. I guess I could.
You're negative, Ben.
I can drum up one.
You're negaval.
No, I've got one. It's a personal one. I want to give a big shout out to my parents and my fiance.
That's right.
Obviously I graduated. I guess it's been, oh my goodness, a month and a half ago, and it feels like it was just yesterday. And a little fun fact, I'm bragging on myself and my fiance. A year from tomorrow, we will be getting married. So that's crazy to me. 366 days away.
It's coming.
That's absurd to me. But obviously, when you graduate, you got to move, find a new place. So over the weekend, on Sunday, I was in Huntsville. We rented a U-Haul, loaded up. Most of my stuff was in Knoxville, so we just kind of loaded up bed frame and dresser and a couple big things that were still in Huntsville. And then we drove up to Knoxville and kind of spent Sunday and Monday moving from my old apartment to my new apartment. My parents went home Monday, but my fiance is still in town, and she's been helping me go back and forth, making plenty of trips to my old apartment to take carloads over to the new place. So big shout out to them. I could not have moved and changed without them. And of course, it's been raining the past 3 days. It's been miserable. I did yesterday around 6 o'clock, whenever it was really coming down yesterday, I was out there running from the apartment door to the car, loading up the car, and I got soaking wet. But I guess, I don't know if that's like an attaboy, but
that's a great one.
It's a thank you.
No, it's a great one. Yeah, I was at a big box store, and I was replacing a piece in the toilet to keep it from running and making noise. So I was replacing something with the toilet. So I was in the plumbing department, or a plumbing aisle, and I'm looking at things, and all I heard was, Swain? I turned around, and it was your mother, and it was your fiance.
Yes.
What are y'all doing, man? Y'all stalking me or something? No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
It was cool because I knew they were making that stop to help you move. I remember those days. I do. 865-255-03. Hour 2 coming up.
Having a place to call home means a lot. A place that feels comfortable where you can be yourself. Better Mattress has called East Tennessee home for the past 27 years. You can tell when you walk in, they care. They have that Tennessee spirit that feels like home. You can trust them. Better Mattress has the history, the expertise to help you sleep better, and they have the top brands. From Tempur-Pedic to Stearns & Foster, Better Mattress has the brands you know, plus they carry their own line handcrafted in East Tennessee. The owners of Better Mattress know the person who made your Better Mattress. They visit their manufacturers to perfect every single detail before carrying them in their stores. To celebrate 27 years, you can get an adjustable base for $27 on select purchases. That's a $1,299 value. With a 100-night guarantee, you can shop worry-free at Better Mattress. You are missing out if you don't shop Better Mattress. It feels like home, and this month only get an adjustable base for $27 to celebrate 27 years in business. Good night, just got better. BEDRmattress.com.
Touchdown or turnover is up next on the Swain event.
We now return to the program. It's A Debtful Life.
2 auto loans, 6 credit cards. Sometimes I wish I'd never taken out all this debt.
Oh, you should never say that, especially since Alcoa 10 will pay you up to $500 for your debt.
Who are you? Are you an angel?
Close. I'm a loan officer at Alcoa 10.
Teacher said that whenever you hear cha-ching, someone refinance a loan at Alcoa 10.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong. Equal housing lender.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. Learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you. Log on to OFOKnox.com. That's OFOKnox.com. We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Reciproco, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
Up goes your car insurance. Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage. It's not available in all states.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Touchdown turnover backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong. Better rates and better service. That is atfcu.com. Touchdown or turnover, Tennessee will sign 2 quarterbacks in the 2019 recruiting class. I only ask this because you have Mora, who is going to make his announcement today at 11 a.m. He's a Tennessee quarterback target from West Point High School in Ocala, Florida. Brian Mora, and he's 6'2.5", 180 pounds. He's been lighting it up on the Elite 11 circuit. Got a visit from Ohio State, 20th offer, and getting a lot of love from some big-time programs. Well, he decided that he wants to make his announcement. He took a visit to Tennessee not too long ago. There's a chance that he might pick Tennessee today at 11 a.m. There's also a really good chance that Tennessee could get Talia Tagovailoa, the younger brother of Tua. And that could happen. Or Talia could stay at Alabama. But touchdown turnover, Tennessee will sign 2 quarterbacks in this year's recruiting class. What you guys are thinking? 2 quarterbacks.
See, this is a hard question because this is more of an opinion thing of what Tennessee should do. if I'm Tennessee,
No, man, it can be a prediction too.
it was just hard to make that prediction because you have no idea what that coaching staff is thinking, and whether they think they need 2 quarterbacks. Because if you look at the roster, if nobody were to transfer, you probably wouldn't need 2 quarterback signees. But I said it, I guess it was on Monday. I'm willing to bet that either Will McBride or Jared Guarantano may not be on the roster next year. One way or the other, I think one of those guys transfers. So I say touchdown, Tennessee does sign 2 quarterbacks because it'll need to. And losing Will McBride or JT Guarantano, Jared Guarantano will kind of expedite that process. And Talia and this Brian Maurer kid, that'd be a perfect tandem for Tennessee. Give me both. Maurer was just, I believe he's going out to Oregon to participate in the Elite 11 class.
The opening.
Yes.
Yeah, the opening in Elite 11. You have all those things.
So he's not necessarily rated the highest, but
not yet. He will be.
He will be.
Yeah.
He was looking at Ohio State, and Ohio State just took a commitment from 4-star quarterback Dwan Mathis. So that looks like that kind of changes things for him. And anytime Dana Holgerson wants a quarterback, I'm kind of confident in that quarterback's abilities. So I think both would be really nice pickups, and I do think Tennessee signs 2 quarterbacks this year because I do believe one of Will McBride or Jared Guarantano will end up transferring because of the numbers.
Touchdown for me also. I think they do sign 2 because I'm exactly right there with you, Ben. I think Tennessee ends up having one of these quarterbacks exit. And so you got to have as much depth at that position as possible. I can't speak. And so you can fill that. I think Tennessee is going to get. Is it Maurer? I went to school with a dude. I went to school with a dude whose name was spelled this way, and we always said Maurer.
It's Maurer.
I think it's Maurer.
It's Maurer.
Yeah. The only reason I'm confused is because Joe Maurer, the baseball player, is M-A-U-E-R.
And this has an extra R.
Yeah, so that's what's throwing me off.
It's Maurer.
We'll go with Maurer.
Close enough.
Executive decision.
I think Tennessee does get this kid, and then the other options on the list for Tennessee are good and interested, and so I think, Tennessee does end up with 2 quarterbacks in this class and two good ones. So hopefully the future is bright at that position for the Vols.
You said Talia. I'm rubbing off on you, Ben.
It's Talia.
It's Talia.
That's how
Talia.
Ryan Callahan said when he was on your
it's Talia. I'm going touchdown. Not because I know the game plan, but because when you look at our quarterback situation, we are renting Keller Chris for 1 year.
Yep.
Next year, J.T. Stroud, more than likely, hopefully, he is a redshirt freshman. Then you have Jared Guarantano as a redshirt junior next year. Will McBride. So really you would have only 2 quarterbacks with any experience. 1 quarterback that you maybe feel confident they can play at this level. And I'm saying this even before the season. Who knows what might happen. Jared may stink it up this year. He may knock it out of the park. But even if you have 1 quarterback that you knew for sure could play at a high level, that's still not enough. Next year, regardless of what happens, you will only have 3. You need more quarterbacks. So I'm saying touchdown because Tennessee needs to get 2. They need to stockpile the quarterback position. Quarterbacks transfer. You can't worry about that. Clemson, I mean, Deshaun Watson, and the quarterback they have now, Caleb Bryant. And then they go out and they get Hunter Johnson, who's the number 1 quarterback. Then the next year after that, they go out and they get Trevor Lawrence. Well, somebody has to go, and that was Hunter Johnson. It happens. Tennessee has had transfers at the quarterback position. It happens. It's part of it. The B.J. Colemans, the Nick Stevens, the guys transfer. They leave. The Brent Schaefers. Only one guy can play. Well, the best guy is going to play. And that's just an unfortunate part of college football is that you have quarterback transfers. So I'm going to because Tennessee, I think, will need to, and I think Tennessee will be able to pull off if Tennessee gets Brian Maurer. If they get him, I think Tennessee still has a really good shot at getting Talia because, I'm sorry, Maurer is not the grandson of General Nealon.
And Talia is not afraid of competition. That's not why he's looking at Tennessee because Alabama already has another quarterback committed. He's looking at Tennessee because of his relationship with Brian Niedermeyer. So I think that's important to note as well.
Yeah, Niedermeyer and Pruitt, that family really, really, really likes Pruitt and company. And another dynamic is that Tua, the older brother, is on the team. This is a Jimmy Clausen and Rick Clausen situation. This is a Chris Leaks, CJ Leaks situation. I remember 2002 being on the phone with Chris Leak. We're talking about how we're going to come to Tennessee and wreck it. Chris Leak was locked to Tennessee. He was coming. Until the Georgia game in 2002. When he was named the starter, CJ. And he did not perform well early. And they yanked him. And they put James Banks in. And he was running around like a chicken with his head cut off when Casey was hurt. Well, when that happened to CJ, for some reason, the Leak family did not want to come to Tennessee. I can tell you this. And I got nothing but love for CJ. He was always good to me. That was not on Tennessee. CJ was not ready for that moment. And because he was not ready, they had to yank him and put someone else in that gave them the best chance to win. And the Leaks did not like that. And so that's why Chris went to Florida. But I can sit here and tell you right now, Chris and I talked on the phone a number of times about putting a class together. And he made sure to let me know that he was coming to Tennessee. And then when he went to Florida, he was trying to talk me into going to Florida. Nah, man. The last thing I'm doing is going to Gainesville.
Yeah,
It's something in the water down there, man.
There's definitely you would have been on Flocka. You would have been on for what?
No, man. There's no way. So this situation with Talia and Tua reminds me a lot of the Leaks and the Clausens. You have an older brother that's there at the school, and we'll see how you treat him.
Yeah,
if you treat him right, you can get little brother.
I think it's vital. Honestly, I think it's really important to see how the quarterback competition at Alabama plays out because I do think if Nick Saban messes that situation up and really rubs Tua and that family the wrong way, I truly believe Talia will be headed to Knoxville. I truly think that could be the tipping point if Talia is already strongly considering Tennessee and his brother is mistreated at Alabama, that could push him over the edge. So I think it's important to keep up. If you're a Tennessee fan, you normally don't care about the quarterback competition at Alabama other than just wanting to know kind of who will be starting against Tennessee. But this year kind of gives a little more incentive to pay attention to what's going on in Tuscaloosa. So, and to be honest, I don't really think Nick Saban will mess it up because Nick Saban tends to find a way to work these type of things out. So I don't know that I would necessarily bank on that being messed up, but it is a possibility, and I think if it does happen, it'd be crucial for Tennessee's chances at getting Talia.
I don't see how Nick Saban's going to get out of this thing unscathed.
Yeah.
I mean, this situation points to someone transferring and someone being upset.
Yeah, and I think that person is Jalen Hurts.
And you can't worry about that if you're Nick Saban. Your job is to win championships and win games. But Jalen Hurts did lead you to this unbelievable record in the last 2 seasons. He's only lost, 2 games. But he played poor on the biggest stage. And Alabama are champions today because they benched him. And so now what does Nick Saban do? I think it's going to be a lose-lose situation. It's not like 2014 Urban Meyer in Ohio State. See, Urban Meyer was fortunate because somebody got hurt. So your starting quarterback, Braxton Miller, he got hurt.
No, which year? Because Braxton
2014 when they won the championship.
Cardell Jones.
They got hurt. Braxton Miller got hurt, and then J.T. Barrett goes in, and then he gets hurt there in the playoffs, and then Cardell Jones goes in, and he beats Alabama, then he beats Oregon, and they were able to handle the situation well because they moved Braxton Miller to wide receiver.
Yes.
They was able to do that. They were able to paint a picture to Braxton and say, hey, man, if you want to play at the next level,
it's gonna be
if you want to take care of your daughter the way I know you want to take care of your kids and all that stuff, your best bet is to play wide receiver. And Braxton bought into that. And that's when he had the vicious spin move that next season.
Against Virginia Tech in the opener.
Oh, man, it was vicious.
On a Friday night.
But
and he's still receiver for the Texans.
Urban situation is a little different. He had three dudes. Yeah. But one moved to quarterback. He had an injury. And then Cardell Jones came in late and won your championship there for Ohio State.
Now, I will say with that, if I remember correctly, that year that they moved Braxton Miller to receiver, J.T. Barrett was named the starting quarterback, and there was some, I guess, tensions is the right word, between Cardell Jones and Ohio State that year. I remember Cardell kind of making some comments towards Urban.
I mean, he was not thrilled. I understand that. But JT was a better leader for that team, and Cardell did win a championship for him in those two games. But JT still was the guy, and so Urban got lucky in that situation. He got lucky. I'll say that. Nick Saban won't be so lucky. Someone's gonna be upset, and if it's Tua, then that gives Tennessee a better chance of landing Talia. Here in about 3 hours or less, we'll know about Brian Maurer, who is a 6'2.5" quarterback from Florida, Elite 11 quarterback, one of the best throwers in the country. Will he pick Tennessee? Will he pick West Virginia? We'll see here at 11 a.m. Swain event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Stay with us. Be right back.
At some point in your life, you're going to need an attorney. You need a guy like Jared Castile with the law firm of Butler, Vines, and Babb. Jared Castile is East Tennessee born, and he understands what giving his all truly means. To Jared, every case is big and every client is important. He will aggressively push your case to make sure you are quickly paid every dollar that you deserve. Give Jared Castile a call, 865-244-3933, and talk with him directly. His office is located at 2701 Kingston Pike. So if you've been injured in a car wreck, let Jared Castile and Butler, Vines, and Babb fight for you.
Top 100 Barbecue Restaurant Dead End Barbecue isn't just a great place to go for dinner. They have fantastic lunch specials every day. Monday through Friday, they offer great deals on different meals each day. Dead End Barbecue has the smoke and sweet meal with half-smoked chicken, a side, choice of bread and banana pudding on Monday, brisket French dip on Tuesday, salmon salad on Wednesday. Thursday is the cold smoked turkey BLT and center cut bone-in pork chop on Friday. Not to mention you can get a bowl of beans and smoked sausage for $6 every day. So when you are looking for somewhere to go for lunch during the week, look no further than Top 100 Barbecue Restaurant Dead End Barbecue. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue, your lunch search is over.
You're driving blue lights on your rearview mirror. The next thing you know, you're being arrested for DUI. Be responsible, but remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call DUI and criminal defense attorney Marcos Garza. Put this number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty, say Garza. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphone. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries. You break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Reciproco, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
Goes your car insurance. Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
Pass downfield is complete. That's Swain. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give him 6. Touchdown.
Eight 255-03 B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Today's lunch special is their salmon salad. Fresh salmon on a bed of green lettuce, green salad with your choice of bread. All the great price at Dead End Barbecue. And just be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for some awesome things happening at Dead End Barbecue. I am so excited to be able to share those with you when I can. So be on the lookout. Dead End Barbecue is doing it again and separating themselves away from everyone else in the barbecue business. No wonder why they are a top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. We're talking about Pruitt leading the major medical staff shakeup. I don't understand why anyone would have a serious issue with it. When you look at all the injuries over the last couple of years, whether you think the two doctors who were replaced are good doctors or not, and I think they are good doctors, it's just time to go in a different direction. You have lost football games because you have been unable to keep guys healthy, period. Coaching staff, strength conditioning staff, medical staff, you've lost football games. You're losing recruiting battles to teams that do a better job in keeping their guys healthy. Do you guys know that's a negative recruiting tool? Why would you want to go to Tennessee when you go get broke up and they don't know how to keep you healthy? Everything is on the table. Everything in recruiting is on the table. There's a story about how Cardell Williams wanted to come to Tennessee, Cadillac Williams. And he was told that Tennessee was getting ready to go on probation. What? Never happened, but he went to Auburn. Lies happen in recruiting, and so you don't want to give any team ammunition, any team, because they will use it. We have to do a better job of taking care of our players, period. Our players, they have their hopes and dreams in our hands. In our hands. When they are writing the goals and they put it on their mirror and they're looking at it each and every night, each and every morning, I hope they do every night, every morning, because that means they're brushing their teeth twice a day. Anyways.
Always a good thing.
That's a great thing. But when they're looking at those goals and they're picking your school, that means they're trusting you. See, sometimes the fans, we got it twisted. Sometimes as schools, we have it twisted. Yes, it is a privilege to play at a prestigious university with storied history. It is. But understand something. These players, they picked you when they could have picked other schools. keep this in mind. There's nothing wrong with being prideful and walking around like James Harden on the red carpet when he's walking into the awards.
Not my MVP.
He looked like a little like a pony or something. He was like prancing in there. It was weird.
He looked like a fake MVP to me.
It was weird. But there's nothing wrong with having confidence. There's nothing wrong with being very arrogant about your school and your program. I get it, because I am. But let's not act like you're doing the kids a favor. You're not doing the kids a favor. It's a mutual. You're benefiting mutually here. You're giving them a scholarship. You're giving them a platform, but they're giving you their talents to help you win games, to help you get another contract. And so these kids can go anywhere they want to. So when we get them, we got to make sure that we protect them. Protect them. Protect their bodies, protect their minds, protect everything, because their parents are trusting us with them. I'm not saying us as Tennessee. I'm meaning us as football programs across the country. And a great medical staff is part of the protection. When a player gets hurt, and you will get hurt if you play this game long enough. If you get a high ankle sprain, and you are a really good player, and you help your team win games, do you do what's best for him, or do you do what's best for the team? Because sometimes you can't do both at the same time. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have to sit a player completely down. That's why you are Tennessee. You recruit talent. You recruit backups. You have competition in practice, where All-Americans are going up against All-Americans from high school. And whoever wins won because he's slightly more focused. But the drop-off is not that significant. That's the culture you want to create anyways. If you're in a situation where you're playing a guy who's 70%, he's limping around because the next guy is that bad, you have failed in recruiting. Period. This is not an easy situation to be in for any medical staff or any head coach. I don't envy any trainer in major college football. I do not. Because there's always going to be pressure to get that guy back on the football field. And there's always going to be this voice in the back of your head because you took an oath when you went through medical school to do what's best for your patient. And sometimes what's best for the patient ain't always what's best for the football team. And it's always a struggle. Now, I have a personal experience with Dr. Ivy, who will be in a more important role for Tennessee football moving forward.
He's a hand-wrist specialist.
Yes.
Yeah, as I mentioned
Maybe
earlier.
he can permanently fix your wrist, and get your golf game back to going.
Well, he's a guy who.
That's who did my.
Yeah, that's the guy who worked on before.
I forgot.
Yeah, he did my operation.
So Dr. Ivy and Dr. Rapp, they both are employed by KOC, Knoxville Orthopedic Clinic. The two individuals who were let go also worked at Knoxville Orthopedic Clinic. But
and really doesn't that relationship goes way back.
Oh, yeah.
Between Tennessee and KOC.
Decades.
Back from these guys.
Yeah, decades.
Is that normal to hire doctors within the city?
I'm not sure. I mean, I know.
I mean, they need to have accessibility to the team.
Yeah.
So that's a typical.
I get it. It's just there's not a problem with it either way. I just find it interesting. I figured they would search high and far and all over the country and just bring in the best doctor regardless of where they're from. And I mean, if you're hiring somebody, it's just like any coach or any trainer they bring in.
You want to get the best people.
They move to Knoxville. Why can't just because they're in Knoxville doesn't mean, or just because they're not from Knoxville doesn't mean that once they get here they won't have access to those facilities.
Yeah.
I think one of these doctors, either Rapp or Ivy, had worked with Dr. James Andrews in the past. So there's a connection there. I'm not really sure which one. I have to double check and see there. But one of the current or the two replacement doctors, one of them has some connection with Dr. James Andrews. But I remember it was my senior season, and it was practice, and it was a goal line situation. We were working on goal line outside drill, and
it's rap. He did
okay.
a fellowship with James Andrews.
There it is.
Yep.
I remember it was goal line, and we were working on outside drill, 7-on-7, whatever. And so imagine being on the 10-yard line, 15-yard line, and you got about 20, 25 yards to work with, if you include the back line of the end zone. So it gets real congested, real condensed. And the quarterback at the time threw the ball really, really, really hard, as you should when you're trying to fit the ball in tight windows there in the goal line. And so when you're catching a ball, when your thumb's down, the first finger that the ball hits is normally your pinky, okay? And so I don't know what happened because I always catch the ball with my eyes, but the ball hit my pinky finger and dislocated. And it wasn't like a dislocation to where you just pop it back in place and you just keep going. It was a dislocation that my pinky finger snapped down kind of like this. Okay, so it was down. So if I made a 5, all my fingers were straight. My pinky bent down. So if you told someone, "Hey, how many
fingers do you have?
How many pizzas do you want?" You tell them 3. You would use your pinky finger and your thumb to make 3, right? Well, that pinky was stuck down. It was stuck. It was dislocated. It was down. And when I would try to straighten it, it would pop straight down. That's how it was dislocated. And so I had to go see Dr. Ivy at KOC, and what they did was they put a splint on it, like a plastic splint, to keep it straight, because it would just pop down because it was dislocated.
So did it hurt when they would straighten it out to put the splint on?
Dude, it hurt. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it hurt. It hurt, but we put this plastic splint on there so that way it can heal without popping down. So the plastic splint goes on, and after a couple of weeks of it being on, I was able to take it off. But at that point, now I had all this scar tissue inside my finger, and so I had to break it up to be able to bend it again. And so now I can't straighten my knuckle out all the way. And when I'm doing stuff with my hands, I'm usually doing it with 9 fingers. But yeah, I had a personal experience with Dr. Ivy, and he was unbelievable. He was awesome. I loved my experience with Dr. Ivy. I really did. I don't really remember my experience with Dr. Mathian because I was asleep. When you have surgery, they put you to sleep. And
did the surgery work?
He did a pretty good job from my opinion. There was really nothing you could do with a stress fracture in your kneecap. There's just nothing you could do.
Sounds so
it's
painful.
not an ACL where you can go in and repair it. I went to Dr. James Andrews' office there, Dr. Lee Mack, and they was like, there's nothing we can do. We can give you a bone stimulator. So I got a bone stimulator instrument that I would wear every night to bed. It helps kind of grow back grow the bone back and produce bone marrow, whatever. And I would take calcium pills, but that was all I could do. It was only a matter of being able to manage the pain and just fight through it. So I've had experience with both Dr. Mathian and Dr. Ivy. They were both positive, but I understand this move from Jeremy Pruitt. I really do. I really understand it. The last 2 years, we led the countries in starters being out because of injury. That is a reason to change everything. And that's what we're doing. Doesn't mean that Dr. Mathian and Dr. Betcher are not good doctors. It was just time for a change, and I just don't have a problem with it. Swain Event, stay with us.
Looking for a different way to enjoy the Swain event? Then check out Swain Event TV, brought to you by Toyota Knoxville. Follow the show on Periscope and Facebook Live.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799. Jason Swain here. June is Men's Health Month. Gentlemen, question. Do you know your numbers? You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone and prostate numbers? I know mine. I went to Low T Center. They made it quick and easy, and you'll know your results in about 20 minutes. And this month, Low T Center is even offering a special $50 testosterone and prostate level test. Gentlemen, don't wait anymore. Call Low T Center today at 865-392-1388 or go to lowtcenter.com.
Craving homemade flavors that don't take hours in the kitchen? Mrs. Grissom's cheese spreads and chicken salads are the perfect go-to. Ready-to-eat meals and snacks found in the meat or dairy section at the grocery store with flavors of home in every bite. Whether you crave the classic Mrs. Grissom's pimento cheese or the gold gluten-free select cranberry pecan chicken salad, enjoy the sweet taste of a home-cooked meal in every container. Select the best. Select Mrs. Grissom.
VFL's Jason Swain and Todd Kelly here with our Men on Football and Smoothie segment. Let's discuss some of our favorite smoothies and how they impact our lives. TK, man, tell me which smoothie comes to mind when you think about playing defense?
Swain-O, the Peanut Butter Power Plus and the Power Punch Plus provide the energy needed to make plays every time they take the field. Then you have the Gladiator and the Hawk, nutrition every dominant player has to have. Bottom line, everyone wants to be a dominant player. Now, Swain, you tell me about the offensive side of the ball.
TK, it's simple. You always score with Smoothie King. The shredder personifies what we are going to do to opposing defenses. The Berry Punch and Activator will light up the scoreboard. And in case we need to go into overtime, the Pure Recharge will put us over the top for the win.
Swain-O, you know I love football and Smoothie King. I'm a VFL, a Smoothie King for life. The Chocolate Gladiator and the Chocolate Shredder with the scoop of peanut butter, oh, that's my go-to smoothie. They get a chest bump all day.
Yes, sir. This concludes our Men on Football and Smoothie King segment for today. Don't forget the Sip by Sip program. Use Smoothie King as a meal replacement 5 or more times a week, and you'll feel and see the difference. Smoothie King, the healthy alternative to fast food. Delicious and nutritious. TK.
Don't forget the peanut butter. Yeah, boy.
You don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
Master's degree, Charlie. Let's crack the code this morning.
Just did a little reading. It appears that this move makes a whole lot of sense in terms of the doctors that Pruitt will be bringing on. Dr. Matthew Rapp from KOC in the past did a 1-year sports medicine fellowship with James R. Andrews, MD, at the American Sports Medicine Institute, and he also worked at the Alabama Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Center in 2007. And who was at Alabama in 2007? That would be one Jeremy Pruitt. He was the director of player personnel at that time. So a couple of connections there back to Pruitt, and so that makes a lot of sense. Dr. Ivy, on the other hand, went to Vanderbilt Medical School. We don't have to talk about that. But there's a little connection for you and why this hire makes plenty of sense. Vanderbilt's medical school is excellent.
Top notch.
And his undergrad is from Stanford, Dr. Ivy. So he knows what he's doing. Yeah. He's a pro's pro.
Yeah, honestly, we don't know if any one of these guys know or don't know what they're doing. Because
that's true. We just hope that they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They act like they do, and we believe them. And that's all
Yeah,
counts, so.
Dr. Ivy is top notch. I'm not really familiar with the other guy, but since he's connected to Dr. James Andrews, I feel good about that. But Pruitt is surrounding himself with people that he trusts.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that. I found it to be really strange. Like, think about this. Think about how strange this is. A new coach comes in, and a new coach has his own offensive coordinator, his own defensive coordinator. He has his own position coaches. He has his own strength coach, but not his own trainer. Out of the 5 coaches that we've had in the last decade, there's not been a significant change with our team physician, our trainers, and anyone connected to the Tennessee football medical department. Nothing significant. I just think that's kind of weird when you think about it. Not saying that everyone stunk and everyone should be replaced, but everybody else gets replaced. Strength coach, coordinators, and the medical staff is just as important to a team's success as a strength coach, as a coaching staff, because when someone gets hurt, they're dealing directly with the player's injury to make sure that, number one, you don't make it worse, and number two, that we can get you back as fast as possible without endangering your future athletically. They're important, and we have not made any changes in the last decade. That's kind of weird.
You can have all the talent in the world, and if those players aren't on the field, then it doesn't matter. I mean, the Warriors have Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and KD, but if they're all banged up, they're not winning the NBA championship, regardless of them maybe being the most talented team of all time.
I'm going to tell you this. Our previous head coach knew that these issues were going on, that some changes probably need to be made in the area. But you want to know why he probably did not make any changes?
Didn't want to ruffle any feathers.
Maybe that, but he knew he can always use it as an excuse. Always. It was always a built-in excuse. Injuries was always a built-in excuse. If a head coach would use the lack of travel experience with his football team as a built-in excuse, or 3 games in 13 days before you even play a game as an excuse, what do you think he's going to use when you have maybe some questions about how we handle our injured football players? He's going to use that as an excuse when they can't play and you don't win games. And that excuse worked in 2016. It worked. People bought it. People bought it. People bought it. But there's no more excuses. There's no more excuses. I was having a conversation with someone on Twitter who was not happy about the move, and was like, Coach Foreman needs to step in and do something. You don't think Coach Foreman gave Jeremy Pruitt his blessing?
Why was this person not happy about the move?
He said he knows the doctors who were fired, so obviously he's maybe a little biased. And that's not to say that they're bad doctors. It was just time to go in a different direction. So this person felt like that, Pruitt's overstepping his boundaries because he's not a doctor. And it's like, well, you don't have to be a doctor to make that move. He is not taking the position over himself. He's just hiring somebody else who's an expert in that field. It's not like Pruitt saying, no, I'm firing you, and I'm going to be the doctor. No. He fired 2 guys that felt like was a contributing factor to all these injuries over the last couple of years, and he brought someone else in based on people that he's talked to, the research that he did, to find the best possible fit. He's not going to be the strength coach for Craig Fitzgerald. He's not going to be the offensive coordinator for Helton. He's hired experts to do that for him.
He's not going to micromanage.
No, I mean, you just can't do that anyway.
Does this affect basketball and baseball and softball, or is this strictly just a football hire?
They have their own. Well,
I would imagine
the
that
team doctors it probably affects. The trainers, basketball has their own.
Well, not the
whole
trainers.
set
I'm
of
talking about
people.
Straight up doctors, not trainers. I know each team has a I'm talking about for the doctors. When
I'm certain there's crossover.
If Admiral Schofield needs to have surgery, is he going to these guys or
Pruitt
has his own guys though.
Pruitt relieved 2 doctors associated with Tennessee football.
Okay.
If Rick Barnes wants to keep whoever is in charge of that, if he wants to keep them, then I'm sure he has that authority to say yes or no. But this is a Jeremy Pruitt decision as it relates to his football program and dealing with injuries. So that has nothing to do with basketball is how I'm reading this. This is a Pruitt decision and a decision that, again, I don't have a problem with at all. We got For What coming up next. Stay with us.
Showers and thunderstorms are likely today, mainly after 2 p.m. Partly sunny with a high near 85 and a low around 70. There is a 40% chance of rain tomorrow, partly sunny and hot with a high near 90 and a low around 72. Friday looks to be more of the same with a high in the low 90s. Weather on the Swain event is brought to you by B-Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, B-Dry can help. BDry.com. Do you have cracks in your foundation? A wet basement, or a nasty, leaky crawl space? Our listeners have heard about them on the Swain event for over a year, and now it's time to make the call. Give B-Dry Waterproofing and Foundation Repair the opportunity to fix your home's problem. Since 1958, that's right, nearly 60 years, B-Dry has been solving basement, crawl space, and foundation problems throughout the country. B-Dry only uses high-quality materials from reputable manufacturers. They back their installations with some of the best warranties in the industry to provide homeowners with added peace of mind. They are truly an A-plus company. Whenever you start experiencing a wet basement, leaky crawl space, or a cracked foundation, remember these 3 words. Better call B-Dry. Reach out to B-Dry today at 865-662-5238 to schedule your free appointment. That's 865-662-5238. Remember, better call B-Dry.
For what is coming up on the Swain event.
With the hot weather and humidity comes mosquitoes and other pests. Let Southeast Termite and Pest Control take care of that problem for you. They offer one-time or package treatments that control biting adults as well as larvae. Southeast Termite and Pest Control has been in business since 1971 and is local and family-owned. They offer free estimates and quotes with no obligations. So don't get bit anymore. Go with the pest control company you can trust. Call Southeast Termite and Pest Control at 865-925-3700 or find them online at southeasttermite.com.
Hey Annie, you're the spokesperson for Toyota Knoxville, right?
That's right.
Where should I buy from Toyota Knoxville?
Are you looking for new or used vehicles?
Does it matter?
No, because Toyota Knoxville has over 390 new Toyotas on the ground and over 350 pre-owned vehicles available to choose from.
Okay, so big selection.
And a lifetime warranty at no charge on all new and select pre-owned vehicles.
A lifetime warranty.
A non-factory limited lifetime powertrain warranty with unlimited miles. Plus 30 years of experience in Knoxville, not just serving our customers, serving our community.
And the buying experience?
Hello, it's Toyota Knoxville. Read the reviews. Talk to anybody that's been there.
Okay. Where am I going?
Toyota Knoxville is at I-40 and the Lover Road exit. Go to Parkside Drive. You can't miss it.
Can I tell them Annie sent me?
I wish you would. If you're passionate about the car you drive, come meet the people that are passionate about the way they sell at Toyota Knoxville. ToyotaKnoxville.com. Warranty good at participating dealers.
At some point in your life, you're going to need an attorney. You need a guy like Jared Castile with the law firm of Butler, Vines, and Babb. Jared Castile is East Tennessee born, and he understands what giving his all truly means. To Jared, every case is big and every client is important. He will aggressively push your case to make sure you are quickly paid every dollar that you deserve. Give Jared Castile a call, 865-244-3933, and talk with him directly. His office is located at 2701 Kingston Pike. So if you've been injured in a car wreck, let Jared Castile and Butler, Vines, and Babb fight for you. We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones.
warranty. But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Reciproco, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technician to see how we can get your phone working today.
Butch Jones replacing Philip Fulmer on the Jumbotron.
For what?
People getting drunk and stumbling into the wrong house.
For what?
Butch saying a chart told him to kick an extra point instead of going for 2.
For what?
People who break the law while breaking the law.
For what?
All right, it's time for what here in the Swain event, where we highlight just stupidity out there in the world. So let's do it. What you got?
Got a for what, if I can open the page here. Got a for what out of Oregon. Here's your headline. Car thief on LSD thought he was playing Grand Theft Auto as he led cops on a chase. A Grants Pass man told police he'd taken LSD and thought he was living a real-life version of the video game Grand Theft Auto when he stole a car in front of patrol deputies and led them on a chase. My question to you guys, how far did he go in this LSD-fueled video game chase? How long, or for what is the distance that he went with police on his tail, do you think?
0.1 miles.
Okay.
Let me guess here. 25 miles.
25 miles and 0.1 miles. He went 40 miles.
Wow.
On a chase with police while he was on LSD. 2 county deputies were awaiting a tow truck to haul away a 2003 Toyota Camry along Oregon 66. After arresting the driver on an unrelated drunken driving case, when 23-year-old Anthony J. Clark got inside around 8:25 p.m. according to the sheriff's office. He then drove off and evaded one deputy's efforts to stop him. He then sped through Ashland, Talon, Phoenix, and crashed through a chain link fence off the roadway, ran over spike strips twice, drove the wrong way down several roads, and after several attempts, a patrol car managed to bump the rear of the Toyota and caused Clark to spin out when he made it 40 miles to Medford. I mean, in a way, obviously he was not playing a video game, but he pretty much pulled off a real-life version of it, nonetheless.
He did.
But unfortunately, in real life, you can't hide for like 2 minutes, and then the police get off your tail, and you're just, safe and not wanted, like happens in the video game. So he's in jail now, and don't do drugs, kids. There's your lesson for the day.
No.
Would you like me to go first, or would you like to give yours? Because I think mine is going to spark a discussion.
You go with yours.
Okay. I'm giving Conzo Martin a for what? For saying that Michael Porter Jr. changed the Missouri program. And in a way, he is correct, because for a time when Michael Porter Jr. committed to Missouri, everybody was on Missouri's jockstrap. Oh, Missouri's going to do this. Missouri's going to do that. They're going to go to the Sweet 16, the Elite 8. Michael Porter Jr. is going to be the #1 overall pick. So, in that sense, yes, he changed the perception for a short time, because the moment Michael Porter Jr. got hurt, and I believe it was their season opener, 2.5 minutes in, everybody stopped talking about Missouri until February, when it was the whole debate, should Michael Porter Jr. come back and play and maybe risk sliding down the draft boards? Because I do believe if he doesn't come back and completely bomb out in the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament, he probably goes number 1, number 2, number 3, because these colleges or these NBA scouts don't have a 53-minute sample size of what he did at Missouri, and that definitely hurt his draft stock in my opinion. So I give him a for what for saying that he changed the program, because he didn't really change the program. He increased the perception for a time being, but the recruits that Konzo got outside of the Porters, Jonte and Michael, was Jeremiah Tillman, Blake Harris, and C.J. Roberts. And if I remember correctly, all 3 of those guys committed before Michael Porter Jr. committed. Konzo Martin is already a great recruiter. That has never been his problem. So while he changed the perception of, okay, Konzo's got Missouri going on the right track, Konzo kind of already had that going because he had already picked up some big commitments before he went out and got Michael Porter Jr.'s dad as an assistant coach, before he went out and got Michael Porter, before he got Jonte Porter. So, yes, he did change the perception a little bit, but I am of the belief Michael Porter's 53 minutes of playing time this season did not change Missouri.
Well, I
to me,
look
that's
at
just
it,
not changing Missouri. Plain and simple.
Did that turn into future success on the recruiting trail? I would look at it and say no, because Michael Porter Jr. and his brother came there because the dad's on the coaching staff. And so I look at it and I say, is this turning into future number 1 recruits? No, it's not. And so I think Konzo Martin changed the program. Konzo Martin's going to get better recruits than Kim Anderson ever did. But did the introduction of Michael Porter Jr. and his completely awful season do anything for Missouri?
I think Konzo Martin,
not really,
and his actions in the first year were far more important and better for perception than anything Michael Porter Jr. did, because there were also rumblings last week that Michael Porter Jr. was completely away from the basketball team. He was kind of hard to be around, things of that nature. So I just disagree with Konzo saying that Michael Porter Jr. changed Missouri. 53 minutes of playing time does not change a program. That's just my opinion.
Kim Anderson was 8-23 the year before Konzo Martin, and Konzo was able to use his advantages to get a big-time program. In the NCAA, they're looking into whether or not you can hire a player's family member and all that good stuff. That's why you see with football, Rush Probst is not here at Tennessee because we signed J.J. Peterson, and the rule states that if you sign a player from a high school, you cannot have anyone from that high school come coach unless they're going to be an on the field coach. And so that's why Rush Probst is not here. But Konzo was able to use that situation to his benefit, and it's going to take me some time to lay out why I disagree on your for what. But you know what? That's okay. We'll do it after our 9:15 and 9:20 break. I'll come back and do that. But next, we'll talk to Mike Detillier, who is one of the best in the business, football analyst, NFL draft analyst, and he was down there at the Peyton Manning passing camp. We're going to get a little take on Jared Guarantano. So stick with us. Swain Event. Be right back.
VFL's Jason Swain and Todd Kelly here with our Men on Football and Smoothie segment. Let's discuss some of our favorite smoothies and how they impact our lives. TK, man, tell me which smoothie comes to mind when you think about playing defense?
Swain-O, the Peanut Butter Power Plus and the Power Punch Plus provide the energy needed to make plays every time they take the field. Then you have the Gladiator and the Hawk, nutrition every dominant player has to have. Bottom line, everyone wants to be a dominant player. Now, Swain, you tell me about the offensive side of the ball.
TK, it's simple. You always score with Smoothie King. The shredder personifies what we are going to do to opposing defenses. The Berry Punch and Activator will light up the scoreboard. And in case we need to go into overtime, the Pure Recharge will put us over the top for the win.
Swain, you know I love football and Smoothie King. I'm a VFL, a Smoothie King for life. The chocolate gladiator and the chocolate shredder with the scoop of peanut butter, oh, that's my go-to smoothie. They get a chest bump all day.
Yes, sir. This concludes our Men on Football and Smoothie King segment for today. Don't forget the Sip by Sip program. Use Smoothie King as a meal replacement 5 or more times a week, and you'll feel and see the difference. Smoothie King, the healthy alternative to fast food. Delicious and nutritious. TK.
Don't forget the peanut butter. Yeah, boy.
By now, you know that Mooyah has the best burgers in Knoxville. Their beef is never frozen, they have all-natural turkey burgers and black bean veggie burgers, not to mention they make their buns in-house every day. But now, you can also get 100% all-beef hot dogs or, wait for it, all-natural chicken sandwiches. Trust me, these chicken sandwiches put chicken restaurants to shame. So stop into Mooyah and taste the difference. Located at 7301 Kingston Pike, right by Better Mattress.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help. If you want to chop it up with the fellas, call the Be Dry Waterproofing Hotline at 865-200-5503.
Swain event, hour 3 here is powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Live from the Low T Center studio, Ben McKee, Charlie Burrs, Jason Swain. Today, 6 p.m., the John Ward Legend tribute. He's the legend. And Vol Network is putting on a life-changing event, and I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there because I know what we are capable of there in our video department and how great we are at that. I can't wait to see what we have in store. So looking forward to that.
Just judging from the tributes they've given so far, I think it's going to be incredible. So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that today. Joining us on the B-Drive Waterproofing Hotline, Mike Detillier, who, man, he's a joy to talk football with. We've had him on the show many times, and he's college and pro analyst from WWL 870 there, Louisiana. Also, his draft report, M&D NFL draft report, is one of the best. I have it right here, actually right next to me. I don't leave home without it if I'm talking about the NFL draft. Mike Detillier joins us here on the B-Drive Waterproofing Hotline. Mike, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, Jace?
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Rumor has it, Mr. Mike, that down there at the Peyton Manning Passing Academy, that the Mannings, they have the secret Bobby Boucher water, and that they shared it with Jared Guantano over the weekend, and that Jared's going to come back and light the world on fire. Can you confirm that?
I don't know about the, sharing the water, but they were sharing the wealth.
You know, every year you go to the Peyton Manning or the Manning passing camp, Peyton and Eli and Archie, and I know you have a really good relationship with Archie, and you have several quarterbacks around the country that they come in, they serve as counselors. How much do they teach the younger campers, and how much do they actually compete themselves and train with the Mannings?
As far as competition, it don't take long to stroke that far. And we go back, and really Nichols State is only about 15 minutes from my home. So of the 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL, 17 of them have been counselors here at Manning. In April draft, of the 13 quarterbacks selected, 10 of them were here last year. and Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen and Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. They were all here. And so all of them are trying to, I guess through osmosis, get some of that Manning magic with them. And so they were able to attract, some of the top quarterbacks in the country the last 13 years. And what happens here, the Mannings work with the counselors, which are the college quarterbacks. Because of the NCAA rules, you can't get coaches to come here. So you got to get, college quarterbacks to come here. And then the college quarterbacks, along with the Mannings, teach the high school kids. And it's you're talking about we had over 1,100 kids here from 46 states, 5 different countries.
Wow.
So that and the numbers, the numbers were a little bit down, and certainly you understand that because 7-on-7 is kind of putting a little dent. The week earlier, I'd worked the offensive defensive lineman camp, which is one of the largest in the country, same spot. We had 448 kids here. The numbers are down probably 40 or 50 from the year before. 7-on-7 has put a crimp in a lot of that because if I'm a high school quarterback and I get to work with my teammates at a camp, I'm going to do that before I come to Manning.
Yeah.
And it's just common sense. I get to work with those receivers, and but Manning's been a huge part of this, and this was all Peyton's idea when he was a high school player. When he would open up that newspaper and see a team getting beat 45-9, and they threw 8 passes, and his deal is this got to stop. We got to be able to, try to help the pitch and catch part of the game. And it was actually Peyton's idea. Archie sort of ran with it, but it's been unbelievable to see all the talent that has come here. And at first, it was, a camp where you're working with a lot of high school kids, but the coaches were former players or current NFL players. What it's now turned into is the counselor camp, where all these top, very few quarterbacks, when they get that opportunity, turn down Archie when he makes that phone call or Peyton when he makes that phone call. And for the Tennessee quarterback, it was interesting. He was part of the interview session on the Friday, and I got to talk to him. And one of the things he brought up to me, and I saw it in the practice sessions with him, was of getting better taking snaps under center, the quicker release for him, the quick 3-step drop and getting rid of the football with better timing and better balance. And that's what he was working on. And, he's from the New Jersey area, so he was a big Eli Manning fan to begin with, and certainly, with Peyton being a former Tennessee guy. But he talked a lot about where he grew up and, and having watched Eli all those years.
Yeah, Jared has been he's been a joy to cover. He's tough as nails. He understands the power of the position and how you carry yourself as a Tennessee quarterback. The only thing now that's missing for Jared is actually putting it out there in the field and playing consistent and leading Tennessee to some wins. But it looks like he has all the tools to be able to do that. How did he throw the ball compared to the other quarterbacks that was there?
I'll be honest with you. He was a little erratic throwing the ball, and that didn't surprise me because, he's working with receivers that he's never worked with. You come here, you don't bring the Tennessee Volunteer receivers with you.
Mm-hmm.
He's working with receivers from Tulane, LSU, Nicholls State, Southeastern. So he kind of blew a little bit hot and cold throwing the football. But when he was on, he was really impressive throwing the football. And one of the things that he brought up to me, which most of the counselors do, is, they want to work with the high school kids here and also learn from the Mannings, but the work ethic and the time, and Drew Lock brought this up too, who I thought was him and Jake Fromm were the two best guys here, but Drew Lock threw the football. I thought I would see Patrick Mahomes here. A couple years back, Mahomes came in here, and he fireball throws. it was like, man, that thing was coming out of a cannon, each and every throw. But he was inaccurate on some of the throws. Locke was different. He put on the best performance I've seen in the 13 years of them doing that. Wow. I mean, the ball never touched the ground. And here was a guy who's a career 57% passer, and he was dead on with those throws. And I'm just telling you, we've talked about Ed Oliver and Nick Bosa being the top two guys for the 2019 draft. You got to put Drew Lock in that bunch too. That guy's got a lot of talent, but that's where Jared needs to get a little bit better at. And he talked about his body balance skills, his ability to set and throw quicker, and also working more under center than out the shotgun. And he felt as though that was something he was working at. He practiced to the left of us in doing the shows, and I saw Peyton Manning working with him on what Peyton called the float. Peyton's not going to outrun a lot of guys out on that football field, even when he was 22, 23 years old. But he had a maneuver of float in the pocket, just move a little left, move a little right, and then take that hard two-step move up and make the throw. And I saw him working with him on that quite a bit. And he went with Jalen Hurts and did the exact same thing because Jalen's group was a little bit farther to the right. So you can see here tremendous talent, but there is some erratic nature with him. And I think, for him, understanding the offense completely, and that's something even Drew Lock brought up and Jake Fromm brought up from Georgia, was a full understanding of the offense, and that's what made Peyton Manning who he was. He was so cool when he hit the field because he was totally prepared. And to hear 21-year-old young men say, that's what I've got to get better, Jason, listen, that's impressive. You know your weaknesses, because you can say, I'm fully prepared for every game. But how many guys really are at that level? Fully prepared. And that's a lot having to do with film work, study work, and that's something Peyton preaches about.
Mike Detillier here in the Swain event. What do you know about Tennessee's grad transfer coming from Stanford, Keller Chris, who will be competing with Jared for the starting quarterback position? What do you know about him, Mike?
He's a dink and dunk guy. He's a guy that likes the short intermediate throws. It's something that's part of his game from his high school days on to Stanford. That's what he does the best, the short work. And so you could understand why, having been immersed in Stanford's offense, which, is based a lot on the running game, to be honest. People talk about, their pro pass thing, but what do they do the best? Bryce Love and McCaffrey, they know how to carry the ball.
Yeah.
And it's a lot having to do with throwing the football out to the tight end short and to the running backs out in the flat. And that's what he does best. What he's got to get better at is the intermediate part of the game, that 11 and beyond yard pass and hitting that. Now, that is a little bit having to do with some protection because the longer you're going to run that route, the longer that throw is going to come out. So that's been part of his game, and that's who Stanford recruits extremely. That's who they go after quarterback-wise, guys who really excel because that's what they run at Stanford. It's out in the flat to the tight ends, short routes, and so for him, I think his betterment's going to be on the intermediate to longer routes.
Mike, you mentioned 7-on-7 earlier, and if you get on Twitter, you'll see videos of 7-on-7, and it's such a hot topic. You have all these conflicting opinions. On one hand, it's very helpful for your perimeter players to do 7-on-7, especially in an organized setting at practice. And the key word there is organized. And what I'm seeing now is DB slapping wide receivers before the ball snap and tackling them, and that's not real football. What is your opinion of how 7-on-7 is being played during the summer by a lot of these high school athletes.
I agree with you. The organized ones are really good for the pitch and catch game, and it's not going away. That's here for long term, because you can play it almost year round in the South.
Mm-hmm.
You might have 1 month where the weather's inclement and you can't, but it has upgraded the pitch and catch part of the game from what I would say from a junior high school level onto college. Now, the negative part is this. What I see more and more of is the lack of edge pass rushers coming out. That has all to do with 7-on-7. If I'm a 6'3", 6'4" guy, years ago I would be playing outside linebacker, defensive end. Today they're playing wide receiver and tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Name me a top edge pass rusher in the Southeast Conference.
This year I'm gonna go Tennessee. I'll be biased, and I'll go with Darrell Taylor. Last year we go Arden Key, your guy down there at LSU.
Okay, so we're talking about one. And listen, the numbers aren't there.
Yeah.
And that's what I talked to Pete Jenkins about this, longtime defensive line coach. He said, "Mike, you got to put a stop to this." I was like, "Pete, how am I going to put a stop to this?" He said, "No, what it's doing is it's really taking away the outside linebacker defensive end position, because you've not got a generation now of young men that they want to be part of scoring. They want to be part of the pitch and catch game."
Yeah.
Now, every once in a while, you'll find a guy like Marcus Davenport, who 5 years ago was a wide receiver in Texas. But he grew so big, he turned into a defensive end. So that 6'4", 200-pound wide receiver as a senior in high school turned into a 6'5", 265-pound defensive end. But more and more, Jason, I think that's where it's made the impact. And these unscripted type 7-on-7s, that's not football today.
No.
That's almost schoolyard type things that sort of gets out of hand. The other thing, too, is that's why we have the linemen's camp here. It's not a ball camp, and it's all about technique and leverage and physicality on playing offensive line. Well, today, most of these schools have some version, of a West Coast type offense, a spread offense. That's why every once in a while, and you see it a lot in high school, where a 2-ranked team in a division gets upset in the first round by the 28th best team. Reason why, they're not used to stopping the run or running the football. And so you play a team like that, the physicality of the game, I think it's really had a major effect on college offensive linemen hitting the NFL. How many of those guys come in and can play right away? Mm-hmm. Very few. And every once in a while you might find a guy like a Zach Martin, comes in, plays right away. Mm-hmm. Ryan Ramczyk, Wisconsin, took every snap for the Saints last year at the tackle position. But look where they're playing. They ain't running those spread offense.
Nope.
It is part of a good, but there's always a little bit of the bad part. And now you've got a lot of teams that they see a West Coast offensive tackle. Man, I ain't touching him. He's not ready to play in the NFL.
Exactly.
The physical part of the game, he's not ready for that. They coming in, quick snap, bang, up on the line of scrimmage. So I think it's really helped the pitch and catch part of the game. On the negative side, it's taken away from the physicality up front along the offensive line. But where it's made a huge impact is the lack of numbers at defensive end and outside linebackers, the pass rushers, because you know what? They're catching it instead of going after the quarterback.
And you've been there at the Manning Passing Academy for some years now. And have you ever heard of a player leaving or being kicked out or whatever other than Johnny Manziel? I mean, and I'm rooting for his comeback. Don't get me wrong, but my goodness, here's a chance to learn from the arguably the best quarterback ever, and the royalty family of football, and he just not focused. What happened? What was the reaction from you, Mike, when you heard about Johnny Manziel's behavior down there at the Manning Passing Academy?
Well, I got it firsthand because he came in the Friday morning after practice, and I think he had I knew he had been out the Thursday night. And, I could kind of smell it off of him. He didn't know exactly where to sit at because he walks in and he's looking around. I have my cameraman, so I grab him. I said, Johnny, your seat's here. And he sat down. I told my cameraman, set up the tripod. So I was the first interview with him. But he walked in, and he didn't know exactly where to sit at. And, I mean, there's big names on the board to where you got to sit. So I knew it had been a tough deal. But he gave me a great interview. He told me about he wanted to go to LSU, really begged the LSU coaches to recruit him, and they didn't. And he said, it was all about Les Miles. He said, the assistant coaches wanted him, and he grew up an LSU fan for one reason. Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn grew up in a town very close to where Johnny Manziel grew up, and so he grew up a Matt Flynn fan. And so he wanted to go to LSU and play in Tiger Stadium. And the assistant coaches wanted, and that recruiting coordinator title only means you have that title and have extra responsibilities, but at the end, it's the head coach. And Les passed on him just like Mac Brown did at Texas.
Yep.
And so he went whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-doo Friday night, came in basically the Saturday morning right before the practices and kind of hit the bed, and he wasn't there for his group, and Archie made the decision, you got to go. I think there were a couple people there that were willing to give him a pass because it was Johnny Manziel, and Archie said, not going to happen. But that's basically you disrespecting – why are you there for? If you want to go out, that's great, but then you got to hit the practice sessions.
That's right.
And you got to have respect for what you're doing. And I think it was the first indication, not for me because I'd known a little bit about him, but it was a strong indication, should have been to everybody else. You know what? He put it himself and having a good time ahead of football. Yeah. He put it first and foremost that, I'm going to go out and it doesn't really matter to me. And so that should have been, for anybody who was watching at that time, the balloon that, this might get ugly with Johnny Manziel.
Mike, last question before we get you out of here. I know you're super busy, got tons of interviews to do, and I really appreciate your time. You do the draft report. I know I light up like a Christmas tree when I get mine in the mail around draft time, but I'm looking right here at the 2018 draft report by you. And my question to you on the way out is, which pick, which prediction or projection that you made, which one were you the most proud of with the NFL draft, and which one that came out to be accurate? And I just want to know kind of which one you feel really good about.
When the first time I saw Quentin Nelson play, I wrote this, and, man, I took a lot of heat about it. Man, when you fell in love with Notre Dame, but he was special. And I saw him real early at one of the linemen's camp. Jason, he wasn't good. He was dominating as an offensive guard. And the last guy that I had ranked that high, who I first thought would play guard, was Bruce Matthews. That's going back a long way for that. And so for me to see Quentin Nelson with the same grade as Saquon Barkley at the end was justification, because I was hearing a lot of people say the exact same thing I said a couple years back about him. They were saying it now, that he was as dominating an offensive guard as I've seen. Not only can he run block, but how well he can pass protect in his physicality. For me, that was the one because, there is one thing about Notre Dame. Either you like him or you hate him. There is no gray area about it. And for me, seeing Nelson over the last couple of years develop into that dominant guy, which I saw early on with him, was was great for me because, your lying eyes don't lie to you. I mean, they tell you the truth about a player. The other thing, too, was Baker Mayfield. He came down here a couple years ago, and his accuracy skills were, it was unique to watch him throw the ball. And he barely, his voice when he gives an interview, is barely above a whisper. But he got the attention of his group because, you got 15, 16, 17-year-old kids with you, and they're going to kind of cut up. He raised his voice a couple times about, hey, I'm not here to just play around. I'm here to help you guys. And that showed me one thing, his leadership. That he wasn't there to play around. He was there, and he was going to be serious, you're going to be serious. If he's going to play, you're going to play. But you saw that side of him out on a practice field. And that was impressive that he kind of snapped the switch real quickly on you that, hey, it's time to get serious, it's time to play, and that's what we're going to do. A lot of the quarterback counselors come in here, they kind of let a few things kind of go by, guys kind of cutting up everything else. You didn't do that with Mayfield. He put his foot down, and that ain't going to happen. And I saw him do the exact same thing, Jake Fromm from Georgia this year. Do almost the exact same thing. He took control of that group of high school kids real quickly. He got the point across. But you see another side of that. That's why I think it's so great for me to see another side of them away from the game and their practice habits and work habits. And that's why I love to be. It's close to where I live, but to watch all that kind of go around you and see the work ethic and the attention to detail these quarterbacks go through.
Mike Detillier, SaintsReport.com, ESPN Radio and TV down there in Louisiana, the M&D NFL Draft Report, college football and pro analyst there at WWL 870 Radio in Louisiana. You gave us some really good stuff on Keller Christ and Jared Guantano. On the way out, Mike, are you up for a prediction of who will start on the way out between Christ and Guarantano for Tennessee?
Oh, Jared Tomlin's going to start.
Guarantano, all right.
Yeah. I think he's the guy that's going to end up. Now you may play two quarterbacks here, because you look at that schedule, Jason. It may be a point where
it's brutal.
You're going to play two of them. And listen, until Joe Burrow hit LSU, I felt the same thing about LSU, that they would have to play two. Now, I don't feel that way today because of Joe, but I think at Tennessee, Giantomo's going to be the guy, but you're probably going to see both quarterbacks during the season play.
Great stuff as always, Mike. Thank you so much for your time. At Mike Detillier on Twitter. Make sure you follow him if you want to learn about football. He is one of the best. Thank you so much, Mike.
Thanks so much, Jay. Appreciate it, buddy.
Hey, thank you. Mike Detillier here in the Swain event, predicting Jared Guantano will start for the Vols. How about that?
That sounds familiar.
So we will take a break and return on the other side with a little debriefing of the interview. And then I didn't forget about you, Ben. Your Conzo Martin for
Good.
what?
I've dug a ditch over here to put your take in and
all
bury
right.
it.
All right. Well, we'll see about that. Swain event, fueled by Daddy and Barbecue. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Jason Swain here. June is Men's Health Month. Gentlemen, question. Do you know your numbers? You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone and prostate numbers? I know mine. I went to Low T Center. They made it quick and easy, and you'll know your results in about 20 minutes. And this month, Low T Center is even offering a special $50 testosterone and prostate level test. Gentlemen, don't wait anymore. Call Low T Center today at 865-392-1388 or go to lowtcenter.com.
Having a place to call home means a lot. A place that feels comfortable where you can be yourself. Better Mattress has called East Tennessee home for the past 27 years. You can tell when you walk in, they care. They have that Tennessee spirit that feels like home. You can trust them. Better Mattress has the history, the expertise to help you sleep better, and they have the top brands. From Tempur-Pedic to Stearns & Foster, Better Mattress has the brands you know, plus they carry their own line handcrafted in East Tennessee. The owners of Better Mattress know the person who made your Better Mattress. They visit their manufacturers to perfect every single detail before carrying them in their stores. To celebrate 27 years, you can get an adjustable base for $27 on select purchases. That's a $1,299 value. With a 100-night guarantee, you can shop worry-free at Better Mattress. You are missing out if you don't shop Better Mattress. It feels like home, and this month only get an adjustable base for $27 to celebrate 27 years in business. Good night, just got better. BEDRmattress.com.
Hey, Annie, you're the spokesperson for Toyota Knoxville, right?
That's right.
Where should I buy from Toyota Knoxville?
Are you looking for new or used vehicles?
Does it matter?
No, because Toyota Knoxville has over 390 new Toyotas on the ground and over 350 pre-owned vehicles available to choose from.
Okay, so big selection.
And a lifetime warranty at no charge on all new and select pre-owned vehicles.
A lifetime warranty.
A non-factory limited lifetime powertrain warranty with unlimited miles. Plus 30 years of experience in Knoxville, not just serving our customers, serving our community.
And the buying experience?
Hello, it's Toyota Knoxville. Read the reviews. Talk to anybody that's been there.
Okay. Where am I going?
Toyota Knoxville is at I-40 and the Lover Road exit. Go to Parkside Drive. You can't miss it.
Can I tell them Annie sent me?
I wish you would. If you're passionate about the car you drive, come meet the people that are passionate about the way they sell at Toyota Knoxville. ToyotaKnoxville.com. Warranty good at participating dealers.
We now return to the program. It's A Debtful Life.
2 auto loans, 6 credit cards. Sometimes I wish I'd never taken out all this debt.
Oh, you should never say that, especially since Alcoa 10 will pay you up to $500 for your debt.
Who are you? Are you an angel?
Close. I'm a loan officer at Alcoa 10.
Teacher said that whenever you hear cha-ching, someone refinance a loan at Alcoa 10.
Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong. Equal housing lender.
At some point in your life, you're going to need an attorney. You need a guy like Jared Castile with the law firm of Butler, Vines, and Babb. Jared Castile is East Tennessee born, and he understands what giving his all truly means. To Jared, every case is big and every client is important. He will aggressively push your case to make sure you are quickly paid every dollar that you deserve. Give Jared Castile a call, 865-244-3933, and talk with him directly. His office is located at 2701 Kingston Pike. So if you've been injured in a car wreck, let Jared Castile and Butler, Vines, and Babb fight for you.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Swain Event, welcome back. Fueled by Daddy and Barbecue. Hour 3, powered by Low T Center and LowTCenter.com. $50 prostate level test and testosterone test to celebrate Men's Health Awareness Month during the month of June. Let's get to the B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Let's bring in Turkey Man. Turkey Man, good morning.
Good morning, individuals.
Good morning.
Hey, I tell you what, I enjoyed that talk. You had that guy talking about all them quarterbacks and stuff. And I had two things you talked about. Bobby Boucher. I'll go back to it in a minute, but I want to comment on that. I think that Drew Lock can be really special, especially when Dooley gets the shower and hygiene installed, discipline installed. And I think when he gets the beer bottle, trash can from the top deck drills installed, I think he could be very special up there in Missouri. But going to Bobby Boucher. Now, Georgia has tried to steal water from us forever.
Yes.
I would suggest the Georgia fans start building an ark because the biggest water-carrying boy is coming their way. And so better be prepared for plenty of water. I would suggest all Georgia fans start building you an ark as of today, because you're gonna have the biggest Bobby Boucher water carrying boy coming your way. And guys, that's all I got.
Hey, Turkey Man, they're not. Georgia's not going to have to take Tennessee's water anymore, are they?
Oh, more.
I didn't know where you were going.
The Turkey Man, remember a couple weeks ago,
Oh, my
Triple O
goodness.
asked me my favorite Turkey Man call. This is my favorite Turkey Man call.
All right, buddy.
Oh, man.
Put in ark, guys.
Wow.
Build an ark.
We need a turkey call on the way out, Turkey Man.
Man.
There we go. God, he's talking about arcs, and I was like, where is he going with this? And then he just hit us with, my goodness, that was funny. That was, and
I am putting a Jim Ross call on the hotkeys today. We need a Jim Ross WWE call on that one. My God! we need one, man. Wow, Turkey Man. Woo!
Here, that was a great call.
Wow. Wow. Turkey Man dropping a hammer.
Oh my goodness.
I've been being on my best behavior. I have not said anything. I have not commented on that particular subject.
I mean this in
I'm going to continue to be a to take the high road here.
I mean this in the sincerest way. I mean, Turkey Man's talking about Mike Griffith. Let's just get it all out there on the table. And genuinely, congrats to Mike. Glad he landed on his feet. I would never wish unemployment on anybody. I mean that. And so, hey, he's doing fine. But that was absolutely hilarious. That was very, very funny.
Poor Charlie won't have anybody to sit next to at the basketball games next year.
I lost my basketball buddy. He's going to Georgia.
Your BB.
So, the Mike Detillier interview, a couple things that stood out to me, fellas, was he basically confirmed my take that I think Drew Lock is going to be the first SEC player off the board next year's draft. And, we'll see how Dooley deals with Drew Lock. Man, because if Drew Lock falls off Dooley's going to look really bad here. But Drew Lock is special. Charlie, you said this during the break, is one thing you got from the interview is that Jake Fromm's going to kick our butt.
Yeah.
And Jake Fromm is a real deal.
He was just doting on Jake Fromm, like Detillier was.
Yeah, his leadership there at the Manning camp is the reason why he was a starting quarterback as a true freshman. He was able to lead those guys all season long, go up to Notre Dame, have that come back from behind win as a true freshman. Just a ton of poise, leadership skills from Jake Fromm, and unfortunately we're going to have to deal with him. He's a really good player. Another take that Mike kind of confirmed that I've made on the show is that Kayla Chris is really good, 25 yards and in. Line of scrimmage, 25 yards out. Mike Detillier said he's a dink and dunk guy. And Jared has the big arm. He has more of your big play potential. And if he can take care of the football and complete some of those passes there in fall camp and have some great chemistry with our great jump ball receivers, then he's going to put himself in a really good spot to win that job. But Mike Detillier predicted today on the show that JG will be the starting quarterback at Tennessee.
He called the shot.
Is that surprising to either of you? Because for me, it is not. I've said all along that I think people are underestimating JG. Just because you have a grad transfer quarterback coming in doesn't mean that he's going to be the starter. I think that's kind of the assumption with all grad transfer quarterbacks is that, okay, they must really need a quarterback if they're bringing in a guy that's only going to be here for 1 year. I don't think that's the case for Tennessee.
In different cases, in some cases, yes.
Yeah, like at LSU.
You bring a grad transfer in to be the guy.
Yes.
In this case, that's not the 100% reason of bringing this grad transfer in because you're all but guaranteeing him the job. No, you need depth. You need to have a backup quarterback in that's capable with experience. That's going to add some leadership to your football team that knows how to win at a high level and knows how to prepare and work inside of a major football program coming from Stanford, where David Shaw is one of the best coaches in football, period, regardless of level. That's why you brought him in. Now, if Jared slips, then you have a really good piece there you can go with, and who knows, he may light the world on fire. But I think right now, I got to give the edge to Jared. I mean, he's a big play waiting to happen. Just has to take care of the football. Detillier says that Jared was erratic with throwing the football, which is not, some people that hear that may have a strong opinion just off that quote. But anytime, and Mike did say this during the interview, anytime you have a quarterback working with new wide receivers, we've seen this at the NFL Combine. We've seen it in an opposite effect where pro day quarterbacks, they want to throw to their own receivers because they've worked with each other. They know each other. They know each other's tendencies. The way you run an out may be different at Tennessee than how the out is ran at Oregon State. You may burst off 2 feet at Oregon State, but here at Tennessee, we cut off 1 foot to run an out. And so the anticipation is different. The ball placement is different. And it's going to always look bad on the quarterback when the ball hits the ground. But not surprised that he was a little erratic there throwing the football. And just a really great interview from Mike Detillier. Always informative and always does a great job. Really appreciate him. So we'll pull that interview out after the show and post that separately for those that missed any part of it and you want to check that out. We'll give you the opportunity. And that'll be up at swainevent.com, our SoundCloud page, and you follow us on Twitter, and
iTunes.
We'll make sure you hook
stuff.
you up. Make sure you hook you up there. Now, during For What, you put Conzo Martin on For What because he said that Michael Porter Jr., him coming to Missouri, changed Missouri basketball, and because he only played 53 minutes, you say?
53 minutes and 3 games.
And got himself hurt. How could Conzo make that statement? And on the surface, I do kind of understand that because he didn't make an impact on the court. He didn't help those guys win. But his brother was on the team. And so his brother was a really, really good player for them. And so you brought brother and you brought father in to a Missouri program that before Conzo got there was the absolute laughingstock of college basketball.
Yes.
They only won 2 conference games the year before, 8 total wins the year before. They were 8-23 and 2-16 in the conference. They were tied for last in the SEC. Conzo gets there and they jump to 4th, and then they get to the NCAA tournament. This is why I agree with Conzo's statement that Michael Porter Jr. did change Missouri basketball, even being there a short time physically and only playing for a short time on the court. I remember when Tennessee had Bruce Pearl, and Bruce Pearl was having some success with guys that were not household names coming out of high school. Guys like Chris Lofton, who Kentucky didn't want any part of. But when Bruce Pearl got Tobias Harris, I was like, whoa, okay. Got Tobias Harris. A McDonald's All-American caliber player, a player that's right now in the NBA and has been as consistent as any player has been in the NBA, considering all the moves that he's made.
He's the only one and done Tennessee has had.
I mean, he's been so consistent.
And he's been
so consistent.
He got drafted by
5 or 6 different teams so far.
Who did he get drafted? The Bucks, because he got traded
Magic,
on
right?
draft night. I think he was drafted by the Bucks, then traded to the Magic, then traded to the Bucks, then traded to the Pistons, then traded to the Clippers.
I mean, he's been on so many different teams. I think the Bucks are the first team.
Bucks, Magic, Pistons, Clippers.
But I don't think he actually played for the Bucks in that stint because I think he was traded on draft night.
He played.
Okay, then I'm misremembering.
Yeah,
my bad.
His first 2 seasons.
My
bad.
Yeah, he played. He played there for the Bucks, but not long.
Too many teams to get it all straightened out.
Yeah, he played. But I look at a guy like a Tobias Harris picking Tennessee, and that puts the world on notice. Like, whoa, man, Tennessee just got a big time player. That's kind of like Ole Miss getting Laquan Treadwell or something like that. It's like, whoa, the number one Tennessee basketball, because Tennessee was able after Bruce Pearl, you had Konzo come in, and man, you got Jardell Stokes, and you start recruiting guys, and when you get a player like a Tobias Harris and a Michael Porter Jr., I don't see how it does not do some great things for your program moving forward. Even though he didn't have a direct, tangible impact as far as points, winning games because he was not playing, the notice that you have to take if you are a big time college athlete or a high school basketball player,
you have to pay them more attention.
You have to look at Missouri now, because here he is, Konzo Martin, and he just sent Jaylen Brown to the NBA from Cal. So he got Jaylen Brown to travel all the way from Atlanta all the way to Cal Berkeley, and he was unbelievable in the playoffs against the Cavaliers. So if you're Konzo, now you use that and go, yeah, we just got Michael Porter Jr. from, I think he's from Washington State or Oregon, somewhere up there.
Seattle.
And we brought him all the way to Missouri. I mean, it's going to help you get the next player.
Is there any, in those two examples, specifically Brown, his college experience was not good. They didn't make the NCAA tournament, and that team was dysfunctional.
Had Ivan Rabb and everybody, but
yeah, I mean that team, talent-wise, was like a Final Four team, and they didn't make the tournament. Is there any kind of does that reflect poorly on Konzo? This is a little bit of a different conversation than what we were originally having, but does that reflect poorly, or is it just kids are worried about
in our eyes? Yes, it reflects poorly. Just the same way it reflects poorly on Calipari only winning one national championship with all that talent. Yeah, it reflects poorly on what Konzo was unable to do here at Tennessee in his last season in the regular season. He had a great run. I still disagree with how Konzo was treated, but the facts are he did not coach his team well enough in the regular season with all that talent. That remains true there with Cal. You had Ivan Rabb, who was a 5-star, and then you had Jaylen Brown, who was a 5-star, and you got bounced in the first round. You should have done a little bit more there at Cal. But if you are a high school athlete and you have aspirations to get into the NBA or NFL, I'm telling you, what you care about is, can my coach help me get there? And Konzo Martin can absolutely say he helped Jaylen Brown, because one thing Konzo Martin preached when he was here was toughness. Mental toughness, physical toughness with Nicodemus, Christopher there as a strength coach. I mean, our guys were always physically tough, and they're always mentally tough, because that's what Konzo is himself, overcoming cancer. And so Jaylen Brown has been successful with the Boston Celtics, and it's hard not to believe that Konzo had a lot to do with his individual progress rather than the lack of team success there at Cal.
I agree with everything that you were saying, but when I listen to all of your points, to me it sounds like Konzo Martin changed Missouri rather than Michael Porter Jr. And going back to Tobias Harris, I don't think Tobias Harris changed Tennessee. Did he raise the awareness? Yes.
That is changing.
The main reason.
Well, let me finish.
Okay.
Chris Lofton, Wayne Chisholm, the Smiths, the Tyler Smiths, they changed Tennessee basketball. Tobias Harris had an impact on Tennessee, but the Chris Loftons in that era, those first couple of years under Bruce Pearl with Wayne Chisholm and all those guys, they're the ones that changed Tennessee and brought them back from the dead. Tobias Harris improved Tennessee. I guess I just don't like the wording.
Yeah, I don't know what's the problem with the wording here. Remember, Chris Lofton, no one wanted him in Kentucky. You got Wayne Chisholm. He's an in-state kid. You got Tyler Smith because he went to Iowa originally, and his father was sick, and so he transferred down because he was close to home. Tobias was the guy that he could have went anywhere in the country, and he said no to come to Tennessee.
But
that's not happened in a very long time.
But if Chris Lofton and Wayne Chisholm and those guys don't have the impact that they have, Tobias Harris never comes to Tennessee.
The main reason
I don't know.
The main reason
you think Tobias Harris is going to come to Tennessee under Buzz?
He would. I'm talking about
from New York City.
If Tennessee didn't have that success under Bruce Pearl before Tobias got here, would he have come?
I don't think he would have.
Yeah, because he would have come.
But the primary reason
that's different reasons.
He would have come.
That's different reasons.
He would. Hey, Bruce got him here.
The primary reason that I wouldn't equate those two, Michael Porter Jr. to Tobias Harris, is strictly because Michael Porter Jr. followed his father. He wasn't completely legitimately drawn to Missouri.
Yeah, but you can still
there was an outside factor that other 5-star recruits aren't going to have, and it hasn't translated. Conzo Martin has nobody in his 2018 class. I mean, he has 1 4-star recruit and then 3 stars, and so I just look at it and I say it was an isolated incident. Conzo Martin can recruit well. His players love him. That's great, but that's the one reason that I would look at that and say, did he really change the program that much?
Those two guys have a lot in common. Tobias Harris coming to Tennessee and Mike Porter Jr.
In what ways?
Because of on the surface, Michael Porter's father was brought in as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
There were perks that got Tobias here too. Outside of just, hey, you're a good basketball player. Come on now. Tobias Harris picked Tennessee over powerhouse basketball program.
But here's the thing. Even if I pulled up an article from when Tobias Harris signed with Tennessee, and the article says that he list of hopefuls that included Georgia Tech, Maryland, Kentucky, Louisville, Syracuse, and West Virginia. If Tobias Harris is receiving perks from Tennessee, he is receiving perks from Georgia Tech, Maryland, Kentucky, Louisville, Syracuse, and West Virginia. Those perks didn't get Tobias Harris to Tennessee. Bruce Pearl's previous success with Chris Lofton, Tyler Smith, Wayne Chisholm, those guys set the foundation to bring in
That's fine.
Tobias
I'm not
Harris.
saying they didn't set the foundation. But to say that Tobias Harris didn't help change Tennessee basketball in a different way than what Bruce Pearl was able to build with players that other big schools did not want, Tennessee took a player that other big schools wanted. And that was something that wasn't done in a very, very long time.
He did.
That's different. That's different.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't we argue that Tobias Harris contributed to – no, that's not fair to say because Bruce Pearl got fired on his own, but he was on that – Tobias Harris was the last year that Bruce Pearl was at Tennessee, so things changed negatively versus where at Missouri, Conzo is saying that Michael Porter Jr. changed things positively, which I don't agree with.
Now, this is
because Conzo has changed the perception. You mentioned what,
but he got Michael Porter Jr. So of course
but it's one thing to get.
Conzo got him, so of course he's going to give Michael Porter that credit because he's trying to recruit the next Michael Porter Jr. Of course he's going to say that. Yeah.
I get that, but Charlie also just said that's not paying out.
It has not translated.
That hasn't translated yet.
Yeah.
What do you mean it hasn't translated yet?
They have a nobody class coming in.
I wouldn't say nobody. They don't have a class like
it's
they
not
did
remarkable.
last year.
It's not remarkable
at the same level.
Yeah.
And you mentioned what Missouri did in Kim Anderson's last year compared to what they did this season. Michael Porter Jr. didn't have any effect on that. That was all Conzo Martin and Jonte Porter. And Cassius Robertson, a grad transfer.
Porter. Who's Porter related to?
His dad. I don't know his daddy's first name.
So who's Jonte Porter's brother?
Michael Porter.
Okay. And
what does that have to do with Michael Porter Jr. changing the program?
You think that kid is there if Michael Porter does not go to Missouri?
Do you think Michael Porter Jr. is at Missouri unless his dad is there? So you could. What is Michael Porter Jr. got to do with Jonte?
What point does that make? Yeah, all of them are there. Michael Porter is the reason why all three of them are there because he was the top player in the country, and Little Porter is still there, and so he's going to benefit. Conzo's going to benefit from Michael Porter being the number one player in the country. He got his brother and he got his father, and now also he's able to go back to Seattle, Washington, and recruit the next good player from that area because of those relationships. That's what he's saying.
I disagree. I don't think he changed Missouri.
Okay, man.
Yeah, just
I don't understand that. I just don't understand that thinking. I mean, if you are,
I think it's just a difference of how you view it. Just like the program has been changed, but by whom?
By
is
Konzo
the
Martin.
question. And I say Konzo in the same. It wasn't Michael Porter.
I said it earlier. The recruiting for Konzo Martin was already you already mentioned it. He's got Jaylen Brown, Ivan Rabb, Jarnell Stokes that he can point to without the help of Michael Porter Jr. Obviously, having Michael Porter Jr. helps on your side, but this gets into the situation in 3 years from now if he's healthy and whatnot in the NBA and becomes a all-star every year. Can Konzo even take credit for that? Like, can he point to, hey, look at Michael Porter Jr.
Michael Porter Jr. is Missouri's Jaylen Brown. He is Missouri's Jarnell Stokes. That was the big get for Konzo at Tennessee was Jarnell Stokes, whereas Jaylen Brown was a big get for Konzo at Cal. Michael Porter Jr. is that guy for Missouri. He is now opening up the floodgates for maybe other top players to say, you know what, you don't have to just go to Kansas. You don't have to go to Kentucky or Duke. Man, you can go to Missouri if you're a top player because Michael Porter Jr. did the same thing.
But that's not working right now.
Right now, what?
They have the number 73 recruiting class in America.
So,
but you still have the brother. You still have the really good player and the brother who is not here unless it was for his older brother, Michael Porter Jr. How can we not say that he is not changing the Missouri program when Konzo has his brother who is one of the best players returning?
I mean, Jonte Porter is not at Missouri solely because of Michael Porter Jr. It's also because his dad is there. That's the reason Michael Porter Jr. went there.
You're making my point. Exactly. And Michael Porter Jr. is the reason why all three of them were there last year.
That's one player out of how many? 9, 10?
From what?
The recruiting class. Michael Porter Jr. was the last one to hop on board.
It was a bunch.
Except for the grad transfer, I believe.
I don't think it was 9 or 10.
Committing and signing are two different things. You can commit and flip.
The momentum was already going in a positive direction.
You can commit and flip. Again, the younger brother is there, and he's a good player. If he averages 10, 15 points per game, if he's not there, you lose that 10, 15 points. I don't see how Konzo is wrong by saying that Michael Porter Jr. changed the Missouri program.
I never said he was wrong. I said I don't like the wording because I don't believe a guy who played in 3 games.
You're splitting hairs.
Minutes.
You don't like the wording. We're splitting hairs here.
Here's a good point.
There's nothing wrong with what he said.
From the text box, Fall Welder says, Ben, and really this applies to all of us because none of us caught it. Ben gets for what? Because he said, I don't know what Michael Porter Jr.'s father's name is.
Oh, yeah. That's
man.
None of us caught it, so it's a for what for everybody.
Oh, man. That is a huge for what there. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
never mind. That's a stupid question.
It's just a difference of, how you view where everything originates, I guess.
I'm sorry. When you get a big-time player, it changes things. It changes things. It does. And it may not be immediately, may not be short-term, but hard to say it won't benefit you long-term. Swain event fueled by Daddy and Barbecue. We'll pull out the Mike Detillier interview. It was excellent. You want to hear his takes on Garantano if you missed it. For Ben McKee, Charlie Bird, from Jason Swain, hope you have a great day. And we'll see you at 6 p.m. at Thompson Bowling Arena for the John Ward tribute ceremony. The voice of the Vols. Always the best. Have a great day. Same time tomorrow, 7 a.m. Peace and love.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers?